We're back again, everyone. Um, Long story short, I was bored, so I told CP to fucking stop everything he was doing, and he's streaming with me. So, what do you want to talk about, CP? Because I have no topics.
I think I'm talked out this week. I got to be honest with you.
Let's recap from the top.
All right, so quick summary. How many days do you have?
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah. So happy Saturday night, everybody. Looks like we got Beth, the ever reliable Beth.
Hey, Beth.
Always love seeing her in there. We got Cole, Renegade Hero, Blaze Sawyer, Diego Larios, Richie Work, Noah Colin.
We're back again.
Colin,
everyone.
Sorry, Noah Colin. Long story short, I was bored.
Jonathan
so
Nichols,
CP
Daniel
to
Hammond,
fucking stop everything he was doing. And he's
Gary
streaming.
Sim, a lot of people in the chat, a lot of familiar faces.
How's everybody doing tonight? So, yeah, I did a live stream earlier doing a Q&A, and I was like, you know what? I haven't live streamed in a while. That was kind of enjoyable. So I figured I'd see what CP was up to, and figured we'd do exactly what the title said, just hang out and bullshit. So,
Probably could have done one tomorrow, but for some reason I think maybe not.
yeah, I had that slot open, but reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo! So Midsummer sucked.
Oh my god, dude! Like, it's been so crazy because I haven't really seen anybody in the middle with it. Like, I haven't seen anybody that are like, I really like this, but this drug, like, everybody either really did not like it at all, or it's the greatest thing ever. And it's funny because I keep seeing people that are throwing the ever reliable, you didn't get it.
Yeah,
but
no.
I'm here to tell you, I don't usually watch explained videos, but I figured, okay, let's see if maybe there's something I didn't get because it seemed pretty face value and simple. So I watched two separate explained videos with two different styles, two different things they were going for. I'm here to tell you, I fucking got it. So it's not that fucking deep, okay? It's one of those movies where I think it's because of the style and because of the guy's first film, everybody likes to think there's so much beneath the surface, and it's pretty straightforward. I mean,
that's the other thing in Hollywood too, or for at least us, not in the industry, we give credit to movies that like the technical prowess is better. Like it looks gorgeous. It's a great looking movie. Some of the deaths are pretty gnarly. But outside of those two things, like it's an incredibly well made movie, but you still got to tell a story and you still got to entertain with it. And not here, no thanks.
Yeah, like it starts off really intriguing. It's strange that they spend so much time on the setup that it doesn't come back into play later on. Not to spoil it, I've heard people have theories that certain characters might be responsible for things we see in the opening act, which I was waiting for that reveal the whole movie, so I'm not exactly opposed to that theory, but they didn't really go there, so I don't know if I should give the movie credit for that being something just hidden in the stitching. But yeah, I mean, I agree. For how much, like, I think all of us, it was me and you and the horror show all did a stream after we got out of Hereditary. And we all had different thoughts and different questions and different theory. There was so much to discuss with that movie. And even today, like, I've rewatched it twice since theaters. I still feel like there's things to uncover. There's still like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think I put on Twitter, it was when Hereditary felt like a jigsaw puzzle that I still have to scour for the last 15 pieces.
Yeah.
Midsummer felt like a puzzle that had all the pieces and had the outline drawn on the box for me to put the puzzle together. And I was just like, when I watched the film, I was like, I got it. Okay. I get it. Cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Just missed the mark on that one, I guess.
The last I checked, the ever so unimportant Rotten Tomatoes score was actually considerably lower for the audience at this point than the.
Well, that's A24 for you. I think their biggest cinema score is like a C plus or something like that. So they tend to be the ones where regular audiences go, ugh, what the fuck did I just watch?
Wait, when does Angry Birds 2 come again? Because I don't need any of this.
Exactly. You guys still showing Shazam tonight? Oh man, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh man. let's see. Yep. So people are talking about Midsummer, and then what the hell was the other? Oh, Spider-Man came out this weekend. Did you? I didn't even hear if you saw that. Did you see
Yeah,
Spider-Man?
that's what I was. Emily and I saw both of them on the same day.
Oh hell, that's a hell of a double feature.
And thank goodness we watched Spider-Man second, because at least it moved quicker and
Woke you up a bit.
yeah. Oh, okay, cool. Look, things exploding. Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed Far From Home. I wasn't as hot on Homecoming as most people.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I like it okay, but I didn't really like the friends. I didn't think the high school setting did as much for me as I thought it was going to. But I'm somebody that loves all the Raimi films, even the third one. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
But I really liked Far From Home. I thought it was a big improvement. I loved Mysterio, what they did with him. I loved Happy Hogan. I'm a big Jon Favreau fan, so I like him kind of being more of a kind of a mentor, but also you get the kind of comedic relief.
Yeah,
like
this is way more fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I love when he throws the shield to try to be the hero, and it just clunk hits the floor. How does he do that? There was some good stuff in that one. So yeah, it was an interesting weekend. I saw Spider-Man first, and then the very next night I went to go see Midsummer, and my theater didn't talk the entire time. They just soaked it in, and then it was over, and people just went, "All right, fucking," like,
Wait,
and they got their
wait, for which one?
Midsummer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. No, the Spider-Man was a lively group.
Ours was until the post credit scene,
Uh-huh.
and then like the vibe in the room was just like, huh? It was like,
Do you still see people leave before the post-credit scenes?
Yes.
And doesn't it annoy the fuck out of you? Like, what the hell? Is this your first rodeo, bitch? Like,
Yeah, I mean, there's been a time or two, like at a screener in the city, we have to catch a train where I'm like, I'll just, I have to really love the movie to stick around for it, because then I'm waiting another 40 minutes for the train. But, half the audience sometimes, they're just leaving. So, guys, is this your first day or?
yeah. Cody already spoiled it for me. What did I spoil?
What, that it sucks?
I don't know. What did I spoil? I'm usually pretty good. Let me know. I apologize. Who's kind of sick of superhero films? Not the world. That's
yeah.
I'm not really sick of superhero films. I'm sick of templated superhero films. Like you throw a Deadpool in there, you throw a Logan in there.
Oh, Logan.
I'll always go. I just I get a little. I have been burnt out on the MCU at a few times. Like when you go see Captain Marvel and you're like, Jesus Christ, I've seen this movie 5 times. That's where I get a little fatigued. But I'll always go night one. I mean,
yeah.
For me to be fatigued, I have to be like, I'll see it on Blu-ray. That's when I get fatigued, and I don't see that coming anytime soon. So
I'd like a sabbatical. I'd like a nice little break, is all. Maybe a full year. Just because there's at least 3 a year at this point.
Shit, that's a slow year.
Yeah.
You get 3 from Marvel in a year at least. You know what I mean? So it's like 1 a year for DC at this rate, since they've kind of chilled out. It was 1 a year from Fox. Now it won't be. And about 2-3 a year for Marvel. So yeah. So this year, I think the only one left we have is Joker. So that should be hopefully capping it off with a bang.
It falls right into what you're talking about. That should not feel like a comic book movie.
Yeah.
From what the trailer shows, it looks like it's like a character story more than anything.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly. I've even heard where WB is like slating it for Oscar consideration. Like they're that confident in it, which makes me even more kind of curious. Okay. Yeah. So it's I thought it looked good. The trailer certainly was like, wow, okay, this is what it's going to be like. And then now they start talking about all that. I'm like, oh, shit. Okay, I guess they weren't playing around when they got Joaquin, huh? So we'll see about that one. Let's see what we got going on here. No comment. Uh-oh. Let's see what we got going on. Sick of the Marvel comic book movies. I need more DCEU. Yeah, I do. I want more DC Marvel balance, but I also don't want them to start cranking them out like they were until they really get their footing, which seems like they kind of are. But we'll see. What do you think is the worst slasher?
Ooh. That's pretty. That's a pretty wide question. Do they have to have a franchise? Can it be just one isolated? You know what? I'll just I'd have to think on it. But on my first thought that came to my head, I would say Terrifier.
Ooh, shit. I would not. We have I'll answer it two ways. The worst slasher film that I've seen in recent memory is The Prowler. It took me 5 times to get through it.
The
It was
Zito
such
film?
a boring ass movie. Yes, it was such a boring ass movie. So maybe, I mean, if I watched it fully awake, maybe. But I had to just restart it at least 4 times. And aside from the gory kills, like Tom Savini work, I just didn't find anything about it that interesting or memorable at all. But I will say the worst slasher as far as like the actual killer, despite this being a pretty damn good movie, is Cropsey from The Burning. I don't think there's anything really memorable about him, and I think that's one of the reasons we never got a Burning 2. Just a burned up guy. So, I already see it. Hey guys, just I don't think either one of us want to get into anything regarding Lee. Not that just that we've already covered all that today. So no, Lee has not blocked me, and no 31 on 31 is not canceled. I'll leave it at that. We're just kind of hanging out. So Lee's got his personal life going on.
I love Lee.
Yes.
I'll stress that again. I have no problems with Lee.
We both love Lee, and I'm sure Lee loves both of us. He would be here if he was able to. But yeah, let's not turn it into that. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Let's see. I'm only here for cookies while I fix my stream.
What did he do? What
did you do? You break it, Zach? I'm only here for cookies while I fix my stream. What'd you break, Zach? This is why we can't have nice things. I hope we never get a sequel to Captain Marvel. We got enough of her. I don't know, man. Like, it felt like they were kind of positioning her to be the new face, but I don't think the reception has been what they thought it was going to be. So I think they're going to pivot.
They're hanging a lot on that everything of hers.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I wasn't a huge fan of the movie. I wasn't a huge fan of the character. I was even less of a fan of the character in Endgame, even though, to be fair, they shot that first. So it wasn't like she got a second chance. It was like Captain Marvel was her second chance. But yeah, I would not be all that excited for a Captain Marvel 2. And it didn't feel like a whole lot of people were. It didn't get the response that Wonder Woman got as far as the strong female character thing. I'll tell you that much. Let's see. Probably. I don't like Leprechaun. Yeah, I've seen people throw that out. But Leprechaun's fun if you can just enjoy it for what it is. It's B-movie Chucky. You know, the little tiny guy that has magic. Let me see. Out of all the big slashers, which has the coolest look, best movement, best weapon, etc.?
Wow. Are you making a baseball card?
I'm telling you. I don't know. That's I don't think any one of them has all 3 of those. I think Freddy has the coolest look. The best weapon I would also give to Freddy, but then best movement, I don't know. I mean, yeah. I mean, Jason and Michael both walk. So I mean, how do you want that walk, bro? It's it. Yeah. Maybe Leatherface. I don't know. I mean, that's a tough one. I don't know.
Yeah, I think for slashers, with the exception of somebody like Freddy, they're all kind of barrelly, like kind of, imposing and sluggish. Like that's kind of it plays into the trope, because if they were fast and quickly moving, it wouldn't be a movie. It'd be you're dead. Next, you're dead. You're dead.
Yep, exactly. Thoughts on Terminator Dark Fate? I don't think we've talked since the trailer, so.
Nervous. Really nervous. Doesn't jump out at me. I'll say that much. Feels a little 2019 with that female message, which I have no problem with. Just don't take it and shove it down my throat. Like, you can. What was the movie that we just watched that was very female power. Oh, Fighting with My Family was
Oh, I thought you were going to say Dark Phoenix.
no, definitely not Dark Phoenix. Yeah, Fighting with My Family was like female Rocky, and you didn't get it down your throat. I'm a woman, and I'm deserved to be,
You don't have to.
Yeah, right. And I'm just nervous that with Terminator, it's just like, all right, why so many female characters? What are you doing?
I was excited for Sarah Connor coming back because it felt like she was never coming back to that franchise. But that was what excited me. Cameron feeling like he's got a little bit more hands in it. That's very easy to make it seem that way. But I've seen quite a few, featurettes where he's been talking pretty enthusiastic about it. So that gives me a little bit of hope. The trailer did nothing for me. Aside from the little scene of Sarah Connor getting out of the truck, it felt very samey. It felt like the same kind of shit that we've seen where the Terminator that she's trying to take down is like this super ultra advanced thing that can morph and do all these other, copy himself. And it just begs the question. It's like, okay, well, why the fuck didn't you send that guy back first? Like, why did you send the basic bitch Terminator back like 4 times?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's where you get yourself into trouble with those kinds of movies. So I don't know. I'll still be there day one. I have hope that it maybe will be better. I haven't hated any of the Terminator films. 3, Salvation, and Genesis, I think, are fun in their own way. They're not near the caliber of the first 2, but
yeah. And this whole James Cameron being attached to produce shit I don't care. Unless he's gonna direct, don't give me that shit. I don't want to hear produce bullshit.
He brought a cake by the set. The executive producer.
Guys, I got us all T-shirts, huh?
Oh man, we're gonna pay you $3,000 to talk about how great this movie is for 5 seconds. Go ahead.
And they get 2% off the tail end, so make it work.
So he gave him like the original pitch idea to kind of work from. Like, all right, guys, Jim's here. He pokes in. Don't fuck it up. And just leaves. All right, we got it from there.
Do you remember that thing that he did for Genesis, where like they were playing it like instead of trailers for the longest time, where it's like James Cameron giving you his experience watching Genesis, and he's like, all right, the theater's dark and there's things on the screen that I recognize, and it's just like, dude, this is gonna be terrible. Why is he saying things like this? Like he was describing the movie but not like saying anything positive about it. If you haven't seen it, I'll have to find it, but it was so cringy that it was like marketing material.
That's awesome. No, I have not heard of that.
Oh, yeah.
That's great.
It's not good. It's very transparent and cringy.
Oh, yeah. How do you feel about the Rambo movie coming out? That comes out like the same month, I think, doesn't it? Or pretty damn close. Maybe a month or 2 before, but Last Blood.
I really liked the last Rambo.
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh.
Oh. No, nothing. I just got a.
Oh, you're like, I like the last Rambo, and then you were like,
my phone buzzed. I was just I have the other filmmaker in the house currently recording. I didn't want to make sure I needed to fix the camera.
Awesome.
The last Rambo. I hope they keep it like that was very R-rated, very very serious.
Yeah.
And if they can. This has to be the end. Like Sly, we get it. You like bouncing around and doing stuff still, but this character would have retired by now. Like, get it done, do what you got to do, make a fun movie, but walk away. I mean, people should be following stuff like Logan.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really well made finish. It's fun. It's fun to have a lot, but sometimes. You got to figure out where else to go.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I really like the 4th one. I'm gonna try to review all 4 of them before the new one comes out. I've always loved First Blood. I've never gotten through either 2 or 3 because they're very different than First Blood. Like First Blood is psychological, a little bit more thriller, and then 2 and 3 feel like hyper extreme 80s action. So I've never even seen the whole movie of 2 or 3. So that's going to be kind of curious to go through. But the trailer had me sold. It looked like old school, like a Western, and I gotta love Sly and all the stuff he's been doing lately. I can't really sneeze at that, so I've been excited about it.
$2 super chat, believing the hype. Would it be fun to see the Equalizer go after John Wick?
For 5 minutes until he dies. Like, I don't. They've kind of set up John Wick to be unkillable.
Yeah.
So I don't know. As badass as Equalizer has been, I mean, John Wick got thrown off a fucking building 18,000 stories high and just walked away with a little pissed off look. So
that ending on 3 just.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yep. Yeah. I felt the same way. I was like, okay, now you pushed it too far.
Great. You
killing
ruined it.
killing 75 people on a horse. I can deal with that. But oh man.
Oh, anybody excited about Black Christmas this year?
I don't know anything about it really, aside from with the press release they had, like we were just talking about, just kind of felt like, hey guys, we're gonna have strong, independent women against a killer. And it's like, that's not Black Christmas at all, but okay, we'll see.
And it's going to be out in 6 months, and we're gonna shoot next week. Well, what?
Yep, exactly. So
was it a weekend of filming? What are you doing?
No shit. Yeah, they're doing the Annabelle Comes Home thing. We're gonna rent a house. The whole fucking movie's in the house. Let's go. Yeah, I mean, so yeah, it's I don't know how to feel about that one. Like it can't. I'd like to say it can't be any worse than Black Xmas, but Black Xmas was like one of those movies that just goes so out there that it's at least fun to talk about, I guess, because how ridiculously like left field it went from everything about the original. This one just kind of feels like they're taking the name and they're taking the current climate and saying horror film, quick.
Yeah. And they're going to be upset because Black Christmas isn't really a name synonymous with, like Friday the 13th. Horror kids like it. If you're trying to capitalize on some property, Black Christmas isn't something that people really recognize. You better make a good movie, I guess. It happens. It happens every now and again. The Conjuring was nothing when it came out. It was just some jump scare movie, and look what happened since then. But a lot of people miss with this stuff, and it's not as simple, believe it or not. As odd as it sounds, it's not as simple. Just make a horror movie and succeed.
Yeah, I'll just say, look at the money that Child's Play made, and downgrade that by about 30 times, and that's what Black Christmas brand recognition is. Brandon Barry, $2. What do you guys think about Paul Rudd joining Ghostbusters? Perfection.
Yeah, that's exciting. That is very exciting.
I mean, it feels like they're making the Ghostbusters that everybody was talking about years ago, where they're like, they need to make Seth Rogen and Jonah Hill and Paul Rudd and all of those guys be like the new Ghostbusters, and the old Ghostbusters are training them. Like, that was the story that was either a concept or was just fan fiction that was getting thrown around for years before the Paul Feig thing took off. So yeah, I mean, Paul Rudd would fit into that brilliantly. I'm still waiting for them to announce a couple more bombshells, because it looks like they've got pretty much everybody on board except for Leslie Jones. So we'll see.
So as we speak, Child's Play 2019 is higher grossing than Child's Play 3 and Seed of Chucky, and not out in Europe yet.
How far away from Bride is it? Because I know Bride's the top, right?
Oh, just brought the window down. Bride is 32. The original is 33, but those aren't adjusted. So it's at 25. It might be the highest grossing Child's Play when this is, because I don't know if he's here. This dude from Germany says that they're just waiting on it. That it's got big press out there. So
wow,
it could scoop up 5 million out in Europe.
Hell yeah. I'm hoping so, man. I mean, I'm satisfied with what it's made so far. Everybody else wants to declare it a bomb, but I mean, for Child's Play numbers, I think it held its own pretty fucking well, despite half the franchise saying they weren't going to go see it, or half the fan base.
Yeah, it's right in the middle right now. If nobody ever puts another penny into it, and it was a franchise that was like, people just kept comparing it to stuff like It and Halloween. Guys, This franchise never was that. So stop
never
with
was.
that.
It never was, unfortunately. Oh, we got another one. Nathan Oswald. Which one happens first? Robert Englund back as Freddy or a new Friday the 13th movie? A new Friday the 13th movie.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't think Robert Englund's coming back. I mean, I think that he tells the fans that here and there, like, you know, if they threw a big enough pile of money at him, anything's possible. But, you know, I've said it numerous times. I don't even see the benefit of getting Robert Englund back long term. Would it make for an exciting one film? Sure, but then where are you going to go from there? You know what I mean? Like, it's you come back and do a Halloween 2018 thing where you say, okay, this takes place right after Dream Warriors, and Robert Englund's back, Heather Langenkamp's back. She didn't die at the end somehow, and we're going to do a great movie, and then it comes out, it does pretty good. Now what?
Well,
you know what I mean?
Well, it is a dream world. So what if now bear with me, this is just off the top of my head.
No.
What if it's, you know, it's Robert Englund current age waking up from a dream where like all this shit was him younger, and then he goes back into a dream, but he's got a different you know, it's Robert Englund for 90% of the movie, but then he goes back to sleep and he's a younger version of somebody who vaguely looks familiar and or similar. And, you know, you could pass the torch while saying goodbye to Robert Englund. Because the whole dream sequence thing, you can kind of mess with a little bit. But that was just, you know, it as I'm saying it already sounds terrible. So I'll just...
Stop giving them ideas.
Yeah, I'll see myself out.
Another, I believe in the hype. Would you like to see a Marvel versus DC and who wins? I don't think that would ever happen,
At
ever.
the box office, Marvel.
Yeah, no shit.
It should be DC. It really should.
Yeah, DC, I think, has the more powerful, godlike people, but Marvel probably has more characters, I would assume. But who knows? That's definitely fan fiction. If we ever get that fucking movie, Marvel versus DC 2028, like that would be like the biggest fucking box office thing ever.
Yeah. Bye Avengers. Bye.
Yeah. Hey, we just passed Avatar. Noah Collin, thanks for hanging out with us. Did you like The Accountant, and are you interested in the rumored sequel? I did like The Accountant. It felt like there was a couple too many twists in it, but overall I really liked the movie. It kind of felt like Ben Affleck called up Matt Damon and said, "Oh, you thought the Bourne Identity was badass? Check this out." Would I like a sequel? Sure. It's been rumored that the same director was coming back, so I'd be curious to check that out. I haven't heard anything about it since, so I don't know if it's dead or if they're just waiting on Affleck or what. But I liked it.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Really, really decent movie. Great trailer that started a trope of sorts with trailer where they would take sounds from things in the movie and make music to it. If you watch the first Accountant trailer, there's a windshield wiper on a car going up and down, and it's got a so that little second theme that is played out throughout the trailer, and they've replicated that, and like that's been a trailer thing ever since that one did it. And I get really geeky about marketing shit, and but the movie was good too.
That fucking trailer, man, let me tell you.
2 minutes, it's all I need.
Shit, some trailers, that is all you need. All right, see the movie.
Maybe too much.
Cool. Yeah. Oh, man. You never know about Disney. They might buy the DC. LOL.
Yeah.
Shit. They're going to own the whole fucking world by the time I'm 50. We'll see. What's on the Disney Channel? Oh, shit. Again? Oh, man. Mike TV, sorry for making you watch Puppet Master.
Oh.
Yeah, I've yet to watch Puppet Master 2. Everybody says 2 and 3 are the best ones. Those are the ones that everybody debated, but I just haven't had the strength to put it on yet. Puppet Master, it wasn't terrible, but it was very odd. It had that 90s TV feel to it, And 90s does not have the same type of nostalgic cool that the 80s has.
No.
Like when you say something, it feels totally 80s, it automatically like legitimizes it. Like, oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
If you say it feels totally 90s, you go, ugh, what the fuck? Okay.
Yeah.
So it's weird. Donovan Davis, Cody, please shout me out so my girl knows I ain't bluffing. He ain't bluffing, bitch. Just kidding. Believe in the hype. $2. Do you think MCU should have ended with Phase 1? Absolutely not. That would have been silly. Hey guys, the Avengers is almost coming out. Bye.
And now here's Fantastic Four again. Hey.
What do you guys think about the Crawl trailer? Have you seen Crawl yet? The one with the gators?
So Hard Rain in a House? Is that?
Yeah. Yeah, or crocodiles, whatever.
Yeah, whatever the shit. Hard Rain meets Lake Placid in a house.
Yep.
Okay.
We'll see.
Yeah. Can't wait to watch it at home first, but I probably have to wait. I'll probably have to watch it. I mean, Siobhan Walk. Hi guys, have either of you seen Session 9? And if so, thoughts? Session 9. That name.
I love Session 9. I've been pushing that. I actually bought it and sent it to Lee like a year ago, and the fucker still hasn't watched it yet. But we have it's a TV movie on USA, I think, which shocks me still. It's got David Caruso's in it, Josh something, the dude from fucking Sweet Home Alabama, whatever his name is. He's in it. It's basically a 4-man crew of asbestos cleaning up an abandoned asylum, and you can kind of figure out where it goes from there. They find more than fucking asbestos, so it's a really, really bone-chilling movie because of the atmosphere.
Okay.
It's not like a jump scare movie. It's not like there's monsters and everything like that. It's really all because of the atmosphere of the asylum. Just a guy walking down a dark hallway, and like they have like string lights. There's a sequence where they have string lights down these hallways, like these tunnels underneath the asylum or whatever. And there's a scene where the power starts coming out, and you can see the lights flicking off like in the distance, and he starts hauling ass to get out of the tunnel, and the lights are starting to catch up with him, and they just go black, and he's in a tunnel.
Ooh.
It's like shit like that, and they find one guy finds these tapes. They're either tapes or they're like little
film reels.
Yeah, little film reels with but there are sessions of this one patient.
Is it the 9th session?
Well, it's 9 different personalities in this person. So every single time that he goes and gets bored and goes and listens to one, the voice gets different and it gets weirder.
That sounds
obviously
neat.
It's a really cool movie. So it's not for everyone. I've heard people say it's boring. I think that's horseshit. But it's one of the most chilling, like tension-filled movies just because of the atmosphere, which is very rare. Where a movie just says, okay, this is a scary-ass setting and we're going to film it in a scary-ass way. That's where you get your horror from. It's a very unique film. So yes, great question. Glad I got to plug it, and thank you, Siobhan, so much for the super chat.
Hey, have you seen / how do you feel about Identity?
Yeah, I love it, Identity.
Yeah,
it's not that type of movie, although the personality thing, I know that's what kind of bridged you over to it. That was a cool movie because I didn't quite know what it was, nor I think anybody did really, but it just looked like a cool little murder mystery. And then what you end up getting after like the end of the second act, you're like, what the fuck? What's going on now?
Yeah.
That's a pretty cool one. A lot of good actors in that one.
Yes.
A really cool cast.
Dude, Emily is either hit or miss with me. Like I'll hit a home run or absolutely strike out, and she'll make me feel terrible about myself. Dark Knight, she hated. Die Hard, she hated.
What?
I know. And then because she likes like multiple personality stuff, so I was like, you got to check out Identity. 20 minutes in, she's laughing. She's like, "This is stupid." I'm like, "Oh no, this is bullshit." And she wanted to turn it off halfway through, and I'm like, "This isn't fair. This movie's great. What are you talking about?"
Oh my God,
You're
a stronger man than me,
dude. It hurts.
You're a stronger man than me. I've had that with Holly, but not to that extreme. Because when I first got with her, there was a lot that she had not seen.
Mm-hmm.
So I would bring up a movie. I'm like, yeah, it's like that one scene in Back to the Future, and she's like what? And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Sit down.
Dinner's canceled.
We're busy for the next 90 minutes.
Yes, exactly. So I had a lot of those, but yeah, that's funny. Like the Dark Knight, okay, comic book taste. When you say Die Hard, I'm like,
yeah. She's like, I just don't believe the police in this. I'm like, who fucking cares? What do you mean the police?
It's not NYPD Blue. Oh man, that's fucking hilarious.
I'm like, I'm sorry. Did you miss all of Alan Rickman? Because he wasn't a cop, and he was incredible.
Oh man,
another one.
Me and Emily got to have a discussion. Zevix Yates, not horror, but you should review Scott Pilgrim.
It's a fun movie.
I have only seen it once, and I was not the biggest fan. Ooh. I have not been the biggest fan of Edgar Wright until Baby Driver. Baby Driver was the one that I loved.
So not Hot Fuzz, not Scott.
Hot Fuzz, actually, I did enjoy. Hot Fuzz, I wasn't crazy about it, but I did not. I have given Shaun of the Dead 3 chances, and I just don't get it.
Oh, okay.
I know it pains everybody when I say that. I've given it. I watched it once, and I was like, "This is the movie." And then I've let my tastes evolve, and I watched it again. I still didn't get it, and then I loved Baby Driver, and I went back and said, "Okay, now I understand this guy's style." Mm-hmm. And no, I don't.
Still
get it. It's just, for whatever reason, I think it's the British humor. I think it just doesn't land with me for whatever reason. Hot Fuzz, I think I had a little bit more fun with because of how gory it was. Out of nowhere, it was a serious cop movie, and then it's like slasher.
Yeah.
At World's End, I don't remember enough about it. I remember having a decent enough time with it, but I don't think anybody really holds that as their favorite of those movies. So
that's my least favorite of his films. Is World's End.
So and Scott Pilgrim, you got to understand too. I saw it in a double feature with the first Expendables. So you're walking out of testosterone fueled 80s hand job fucking action movie, and then I walk into Scott Pilgrim and I'm expecting what the fuck is the dude's name? The Michael Cera. I'm expecting Michael Cera comedy, and it's this weird comic book video game thing that I was not expecting. So it just, I think I wasn't prepared for what type of movie it was, and I definitely saw them in the wrong order because I walked out of Expendables and into Scott Pilgrim, and I was coming down the entire time from the testosterone.
Dude, I'm telling you, sometimes what you do before or after a movie really messes with your psyche about it, and it. Yeah, that movie is unique at the very least. It's like a video game dunked in glitter, that movie. It's really, really strange.
For sure. My kids like it. I bought it for my son because he likes all that stuff, and he enjoys it. But I need to give it another shot, but it just didn't do it for me the first time. Blake Garner, what's up, my friend?
Blake.
$2. It Chapter 2, do you think it's going to dominate? I don't feel the level of hype that I did with the first one, so I don't know if it's going to match the first one or not.
It's
gonna make money.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to make that killer, insane, biggest horror film of all time record thing again. But then again, they didn't show a lot with the first trailer. They might have a slam bang, grenade waiting for us with the second trailer.
Yeah, that trailer where Jessica Chastain is in the living room.
It's a sequence. It's a whole sequence, basically.
All right,
so,
cool.
Yeah, exactly. And it's going to depend, too, because I think a lot of the charm of having the kids versus the clown is what people really got interested in. I'm curious if it's going to be the same with adults versus the clown. So we'll see. It's going to make money.
I'm curious to see Bill Hader. Bill Hader has been really interesting an actor, whether it be comedically or people tell me Barry, he's really good on that HBO show.
I've heard that too.
So I'm curious to see what he does.
It was funny. I watched an interview with him, and he was talking about how hard it was to be in a horror film because he always thinks everything's so funny. So they'd be trying to do a serious film, but he's like, "Hey guys, it's Pennywise." Like, so it's going to be funny to see what he does with it. Believe in the Hype, best action movie franchise. That is a difficult question because it's not best film; it's best franchise. So you got I would say Die Hard is
Mm.
3 hits, 2 misses.
Mm. Which are the 2 misses? I know 5, but what's...
And 2. I'm not a big
Thank
fan
you.
of 2.
Fucking thank you. I don't know why. Every time I say 4 is the third best, people are like, you're drunk. 2 is the third best. I'm like,
No.
all right.
No. 2 is a weaker version of the first one.
Yeah.
2's not bad. 2's not bad. 5 is absolutely garbage in my opinion. But 2 is 1 and 3 I think are damn close, and 4, despite being very silly, I think is an absolute blast. And you have to watch the rated R version. Everybody always bitches. They're like, "Oh, that's fucking PG-13." I'm like, there's another version you can watch, right? It's on every fucking Blu-ray it's ever been released.
Well, no. That's not accurate. The Nagatomi, whenever the Nagatomi version came out, that was the first time that the R-rated version was on Blu-ray. Before that,
Oh, really?
you had to get the DVD for the R-rated cut. Yeah, so whenever they released that Nagatomi set, which was like 3 or 4 years ago, that was the first time.
Oh, you're right. I remember bitching about that. I can't believe I forgot about that. Because, they had just the bullshit standalone Live Free or Die Hard.
Yeah.
And I used to always watch the DVD instead, and I forgot about that. I
Yeah.
used to always cuss it like, why the fuck don't they put this on Blu-ray? And then
Yep.
I think it's been so long because I've had it since day one
Yeah.
that I forgot. So,
Yep.
okay. I correct myself. It's been on almost every fucking Blu-ray release.
Listen, I'm sorry, whoever. I wasn't even referencing properly.
Actually, I forgot. So we got okay. So Die Hard's 3 out of 5. Terminator is 2 out of 5 in my opinion. Although I do like Salvation more than most people. Lethal Weapon, I would say, is pretty damn good all the way through. I'm trying to think of like flaw. John Wick, I would have said is a perfect trilogy if the third one was just a little bit better. But I think it's 2 awesome films and a third pretty good film.
Mission Impossible?
That's it. Yep. There you go. They have one weak one, 2.
Shitty, yeah.
And it's funny thing about 2 is I always loved 2 until I rewatched it last year.
Yeah.
I always remembered it being really cool and high octane and everything, and everybody always bitched about 2, and I'm like, what the fuck is everybody's problem with 2?
Dude, it's
and
a
I
time
rewatched
capsule.
2. I rewatched 2 last year, and I'm like, are we doing the slow-mo shit again? The whole movie, I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
So it was a totally different experience. But yeah, 1 is great. 2 is still entertaining, but 3 is great. 4 is probably my favorite. 5 and 6 were great. So yeah, I mean, you nailed it. Best action movie franchise is Mission Impossible. Although the greatest action movie ever made was Die Hard, but I digest.
Don't tell my wife that.
Shit. What's her favorite action movie of all time?
She doesn't like. I should ask her that. Yeah, I finally rewatched that a couple weeks ago with her, and I'm like, yeah, this is your favorite. I don't know.
You can have it. It's yours.
Get the divorce papers ready. This is bullshit.
I can just see you like with the Seinfeld gif where he's like, okay, it's enough internet.
Yeah.
Okay, it's enough invites.
I'm like, oh, cool. How many of these are there left? Oh,
Yeah.
wow. And this is the best one.
I really
Okay.
like the first one. Beyond that, I've only seen a couple of them, and I haven't really loved them. Cody Leach.
I dread October of 2020 because that's a lot of films there, and that might have to fill a spot, if you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, fucking hell. We're retiring 31 on 31 after this year, everybody, and you've heard it here first. We're going to have fucking Wrong Turn and Hellraiser and Leprechaun. Like
Puppet Master, there's another one with a bunch, just bottom of the
Hellraiser's
barrel.
#1, the rest of them are all tied for 31. There you go. Brian will be hilarious in the chat for months leading up to that one.
Will Meister, do you think Carrie is underrated, the 2002 version?
No. I think it gets... Is it 2002? Is that the TV one?
I'm not familiar with the 2002
I'm at the fact check. Give me 1 second before we say.
Well, in the meantime, a lot of people are saying Dirty Harry. Dirty Harry, okay. Matrix trilogy is awesome. I could understand.
Yeah, it's the TV one, the TV Carrie.
Okay.
No, I don't think that's underrated at all. I haven't seen it since it aired, but I remember it being decent, but it doesn't have that De Palma flair to it. So yeah, I'm not even a huge fan of the original Carrie. I don't think it's bad, but it's never been one that I've loved. So I think it gets exactly the rating that it merits.
Dank Bloop wants to know what the best YouTube duo is.
Sean Chandler and his t-shirts.
You're watching two of us, buddy, so...
We watched a movie. Oh, did you catch that your little joke made it back to Mike and freaked him out?
No, I haven't heard. No.
Oh my God. So we had this thing today in Killer Flicks that came up where apparently somebody has been private messaging people of the Hispanic nationality, telling them things along the lines of Get Out and, some nasty names and stuff. And apparently one or all of these messages have hinted at the fact that I'm the one leading the charge on these messages. So I made a little PSA today saying, I don't think anybody would believe it, but if you get these messages, it's not from me, and I have no affiliation with it whatsoever. So everybody was commenting on it, and then Mike comes in a couple hours ago, and he's like, look, I don't know what happened today, but somebody told me there was this message on here that said that Wham was involved, and we're not involved, and it was somebody that said, they were talking about CB's video, it said something to do with Wham. I had to message him. I said, ignore it. It's nothing, I promise. And I had to send a little voice thing because I couldn't type it all because I was laughing so fucking hard. But it was, I was like, nothing happened, dude. I said he threw it in as a joke, and I'm pretty sure he said it was everybody but Wham. But you know how people twist shit around. But
makes it worse that we haven't actually spoken. I think if he knew who I was, he would understand.
It was pretty fucking funny. He was like, I don't know what the hell's going on, but we got nothing to do with this. Oh man.
Oops. Sorry, Mike. Yep. Sorry.
It was awesome.
Well, I'd rather that be the big thing of the day than anything, to be honest with you.
Oh man,
just a little mix-up.
It was a day of big things, like one after the other. I was like, oh man, okay, we got some things to handle. Oh, now I'm a racist that's, throwing out the troops to go round people up and some other shit. And it's like, oh, now this happens. And, all ridiculous. Favorite Van Damme movie from Will Smith? No comment? That face says it all. I will say it's a contest between Hard Target and Universal Soldier.
Oh, man, why do you say those things? Universal Soldier. I really like Time Cop.
Yeah. A three-way tie between those three. Hard Target's probably my favorite just because that one is at least it's kind of a time capsule movie. It's the same director as Mission Impossible 2, but the ridiculous shit in that movie is just so fun to rewatch. Like, he fucking punches a rattlesnake in the face, and it's that and all the flips and the John Woo slow motion and the way that Lance Henriksen bites it in the end is just... That's a classic 90s cheese as hell action movie.
Yeah, I think part of the reason is I really enjoy 80s action cheese because it's just so over the top. Like a car could, run over a box and everything explodes, and it's just so over the top with the action in the 80s. But then they course correct in the 90s, and silliness in the 90s is more like, come on, blow up the chicken or something. What are you doing?
Yep.
You're an action movie.
Yeah, Time Cop's a good one. I think where the effects haven't aged so well, but nonetheless. And then Universal Soldier, I think, is a pretty cool little movie. But
does Time Cop have a Blu-ray? Because I definitely don't own that.
It does. It's a double feature with I think Bloodsport or something like that. At least that's the one that I have. One of those little, classics across the spot, 2 for 1.
Yeah, here's 7 movies in one box, fucker.
And what always pisses me off about that, especially with a collection as big as mine, is that I always put it in the shelf with my favorite of the 2, and then I completely fucking forget that the other one even exists. So if I want to watch Bloodsport, I don't know where the fuck to find it. I'm like, where's this bitch at?
Yeah, so I have a little stack. My my Blu-rays go this way, and then I have stacks going this way of like I have the Demolition Man, Over the Edge, and something else in one, and then like if there's more than one movie, I put them sideways so that I could just decipher the difference, because they do that quite a bit. Didn't mean to bore you with my story. I'm sorry.
Fancy. Believe in the Hype. Tremor franchise review. I have only seen the first one.
I haven't, I don't think.
And I actually, strange enough that you asked that, I rewatched it last weekend. Me and my kids were bored as shit, and I was like, whatever, this is on... This is the first thing that popped up on Amazon Video, and I don't have the strength to click right. So I just turned it on and mostly watched all of it. I mean, it's cheesy, but it's a decent little, throwback monster movie or whatever. It's an okay movie, but I can't imagine the sequels are all that great. I mean...
Yeah, you've talked about this before, vaguely. I think this usually comes up when we talk about Godzilla stuff. But how are you on monster movies as a whole? Yeah, I think that's what I remember you saying. Yeah,
it depends. I mean, like monster movies like Jeepers Creepers or something like that, I can dig.
Does that
but
count
like
as a monster movie, really?
I would say it is like a monster flick. But yeah, kaiju shit where like the whole city's getting demolished. I've never really been on that train. I can't think of a single. I enjoyed Pacific Rim for what it was, but even that would be like a 3 out of 5 movie for me. So I didn't really dig either of the Godzilla movies, the new ones. Kong Skull Island didn't do much for me. I need to rewatch the Peter Jackson King Kong, but even when that first came out, it didn't do much for me.
That hasn't aged well either.
Yeah, so it's just not my thing. For whatever reason. I don't know if it just hasn't been the one yet, or it's just not my genre.
Bless your little soul, Nathan Oswald, paying $2 to tell us that Forrest Gump came out 25 years ago today. Thank you.
I actually saw an article that somebody shared that I was tempted to read it, but I was already in a bad mood. It said, Forrest Gump, a bad movie that has aged even worse. I'm like, what?
Yo, that movie got cool to hate on really fast. I don't know what
It's all because it beat Pulp Fiction, and people are fucking... Right. People won't let it go.
It won in a year where a bunch of other movies really could have, should have, and probably...
Shawshank, was that the same year?
94, yeah. Brutal year, and it's like, oh, the popular one won. Okay.
That never happens.
Yeah, no. If you look at 94, there's this could be a series that I might introduce. Great years in movies. 94 is huge. 82 is huge. I think 99. Like, there's a bunch of these years where I'm not even just talking about Oscars. Like, there's some heavy hitters in some years, and 94 was one of those big years, and Forrest Gump just happened to take a lot of heat for it.
Yep. What's the most recent year like that? Have we had one? Where it's like, holy shit.
It might be Dark Knight was 2008. There was a couple of other things.
Iron Man, Dark Knight.
Yeah. Shit, you're gonna meet.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Something else.
Yeah. It might be. The most recent that I really pointed at and said, "Oh, that's pretty big," was 2004. I think that was Spider-Man 2, the Avenger. The Incredibles. There's a couple of I'll look into it because it's something that's really neat. But in the 2000s, I'm a little blurry. I don't have the proper information for that.
Believe in the Hype. Forrest Gump is a very slow burn. I would never call it a slow burn. Actually, I think it's actually a pretty fast-paced, entertaining movie. I guess if you're bored with history, it could be a slow burn. But I don't know. That the slow burn to me is a movie where it takes a while to get to the point. And I would never say that Forrest Gump is that type, but different tastes.
Yeah.
Wes Craven's Shocker is having its 30th anniversary from 1989. Have you both enjoyed it? I have never seen it. Have you?
Nope.
Moving on.
Wes Craven. No.
Thoughts on Gone Girl?
I like it.
I'll let you start.
I like it. I quite enjoy it. I couldn't help but think. So at the time, I was married the first time with this movie, and she had read the book and told me nothing about it. And I couldn't help watching this halfway through the movie. I'm like, this is Scott Peterson. even Ben Affleck looks like Scott Peterson for Pete's sake. And then right around the halfway mark, you go on an interesting little turn, and I was along for the ride. That was a hell of a good time. And there's a certain kill in that movie that has so much, a lot to it.
It's the score.
Yeah.
During that scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that the dude is losing liquid from two spots at the same time was pretty cutthroat.
He came and went at the same time.
Yeah. It's just like, oh man, that's brutal.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that one. I'm a big now I'm gonna blank on the fucking director's name. Oh my god, I guess I'm not that big of a fan, am I?
David Fincher.
Yeah, David Fincher. I always have that, like, where it's something I love and I blank when I'm talking. I'm like, that one dude. So yeah, I'm a big David Fincher fan, and I was really looking forward to that movie because I was on a kind of a Ben Affleck high after The Town. I really enjoyed it, and funny enough, it's a funny story. I watched it right around the same time that Holly and I met. It was at least a couple months before, because I think I had the Blu-ray by the time we were dating. But nonetheless, I was telling her about it, and I actually bought her for either her birthday or Valentine's Day or something that author's like trilogy of books or whatever. And I told her to read Gone Girl, and she was reading it, and she was all hooked into it, and she was asking me all these questions, and I was like, just finish it. We'll watch the movie when you're done. And I went over to her house where she was with her parents, and she made me sit on the couch and hold her hand while she read the last 2 chapters, which felt like a fucking eternity to me, because I was like, can I turn the TV on or something? Jesus Christ. But I was just sitting there holding her hand like, you done yet? Like, so she read the book or whatever, and she's like, holy crap. And then we watched the movie, and Holly is really funny because she's so particular about the way that she envisions something. So if she reads a book and the movie doesn't do it the way she pictured it, then the movie's a piece of shit. And she's stone cold about it. So we watched Gone Girl, and she didn't even like the movie because she's like, that's not the hair color. It's not this. That's not what's supposed to happen. And she's like really hardcore about it. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? This movie's great. And so it was the same situation you were talking about, where I'm like, that's just not fair. So yeah, that's my interesting little Gone Girl story.
Somebody asked something that I have to highlight because I'm curious at the question too. Dank Bloop asks, how much money for you to watch a Serbian film, Cody?
I will accept no amount of money.
$1 million. You won't sit through a Serbian film.
Oh yeah, for $1 million. Look, I have a stance, but I'm a whore as well. Let's not, let's pump the brakes on my thresholds here. No reasonable amount of money that I would expect somebody to pay me would make that. Like, you're gonna pay me $200 something to watch it? Sure, I'll suffer through it. But that's a film where I don't know. Like, I know enough about it where I'm just like, I don't need to see that. I don't have like a moral stance. Like, I'm not giving my time to this movie, but I'm just at the type where somewhere around 25, I hit this switch in my head where certain movies, certain things, I just don't have the desire to see. It's not going to make me sick afterwards. I'm not going to be fucked up about it. I just don't really have the desire to see it. Like, I used to be a fan of the Hostel films. I might never watch them again. I never really have any desire to watch the I Spit on Your Grave films. I never really was a big fan of The Last House on the Left. It just, for whatever reason, it's just not past a certain point where it's just extremity for extremity's sake.
Yeah.
I just don't really have the desire to experience it because I know I'm not going to enjoy it. So if I'm not going to enjoy it, it's the same as telling me that the movie is terrible. I'm like, well, why do I have to bother with it? You know what I mean?
The shame about a Serbian film is, and I'll give it credit, it has something to say. If somebody could go out and re-edit it and cut out the extreme stuff, because they it's gonna have to have gore regardless, but there's stuff that is like over the top, and if you just get reaction shots and just let yourself do the imagination for whatever, I think if they were to go and maybe really trim it down and make it R-rated and really cut away with some of the really sick stuff. It might be I don't want to say decent, but an all right watch, because I had to sit through it 3 times, and I'd rather watch that again.
Kept falling asleep.
Oh, this again. I'd rather watch that than Solo. Solo is just, just torture, just shit eating and torture.
Thank you, Tamara Flanagan, for the super chat. Sorry, I missed that one. And then Jake B has a super chat, which is, I'll let you lead since you already kind of teased it earlier. Thoughts on Terrifier?
Overrated. Tremendously overrated.
I'll agree with that, and I actually like the film. So it's. I even had a new supervisor at work that, lo and behold, is a old school horror fan, was telling me how much he loved Terrifier. He actually let me borrow All Hallows Eve Part 1 and 2. So I haven't popped them in yet. But yeah, Terrifier is one where it kind of hit like a hype train in killer flicks, and everybody was watching it, and everybody was just talking about how crazy it was. And I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. So I watched it, and aside from being warned about that one scene, I didn't really know what to expect from it, and I was like, okay. I was like, well, the clown's kind of creepy in a few scenes. Okay, the kills are kind of gory and extreme. Okay, yeah, that definitely took it, a few steps farther than I thought it would, and the movie's over. So it's a slasher that desperately wants to be a horror icon.
Yeah, and apparently it's already there or getting.
And
there.
I think that the horror community is so starved for a new horror icon that they're willing to throw the crown at the first decent attempt. So I'm waiting for Terrifier 2 before I throw in any kind of crown for Art the Clown. But I think he has potential. I don't know is he fucking supernatural? Is he a human? Like, he doesn't speak, but he gets shot in the head, but he's alive at the end. Like, there's things that just didn't quite make sense to me, where I'm like, okay, I don't know if I've missed something in the All Hallows Eve films, or if this film is just setting up things it's gonna answer later. But to me, the story side of things and the character side of things were lacking so much to where that's where I felt myself kind of starved for by the end of it, where I'm like, okay, I want to know more. The kills were cool, but tell me something. So that's where I kind of had some weaknesses with it. I'll probably do a review at some point, because it is one of my most requested reviews, even though it's already like a year past the hype. But people want to know what I think about it, so I'll give it another watch here soon. But yeah, I like it enough. It's a decent enough movie. It's a pretty effective slasher for the most part if you like kills. But story and character certainly are not their priorities.
Tamara Flanagan asks, Cody Leach, do you think there'll be an unrated cut for Child's Play 2019 for DVD or Blu-ray?
I would be surprised if there's not. Very rarely do major horror releases, especially slashers, tend to not have some kind of a, Child's Play Good Guy edition or something like that, or I guess Buddy edition now. So I would be surprised. I mean, the movie definitely showed a lot, so I don't think it could. There's not like a ton of gore I think they cut out, but I would be surprised if we don't get something where it's like 3 minutes longer.
Was it you that told me that they weren't allowed to replicate any of the previous Child's Play kills?
I was not. I have heard that as well. I don't know how accurate it is. I don't think they need to. I think they proved pretty damn well that they can come up with their own fucking kills.
Yeah, that rototiller kill was pretty impressive.
Yeah, the pumpkin patch, or I always say pumpkin patch every time. The watermelon patch. Yes, that was top 5 material there. But yeah, I don't. Even if nobody told them that, I think that they're just cautious enough because Universal, the guys over there, are so fucking bitter that they don't want to give them any reason to come back at them. So I think they want to distance themselves as much as possible for any form of controversy. So even if that's not a written rule, you can't copy any of our kills, I don't even think they would want to encroach on that territory just to keep the bitching out of the fucking courthouse.
Yeah, it's so funny how Universal is doing the exact opposite thing as Uncorked Films, because Uncorked Films is like, oh, Pet Semetary's coming out? Well, here's a movie called Pet Graveyard. Just because, people are stupid and they're in Walmart and hey, look, there's this movie called Pet Graveyard that's brand new for $3. Fuck it. You would think Universal, just gambling that the 2019 Child's Play would at all be appeasing its extra marketing for whatever it is you're going to do with Mancini. Like, I don't understand why they're being so strange about this. Like, you're kind of feeding each other here. I don't. What's all the fighting about? Fuck.
I have no idea, man. I've said it till I'm blue in the face. I think it's childish, egotistical bullshit.
Child's Play.
Somebody asked, okay, Dank Blue, do you guys recommend Psycho 2? Absolutely.
I'll have a lot more to say on that in a couple months.
Yeah. Psycho 2, I never had faith in it, so I never watched it. It always seemed, Psycho is one of those movies that's hailed as one of the greatest ever, and there's very few sequels to movies like that are worth shit. So I never really bothered with any of the Psycho sequels until Lee and I actually did our first collab where we were talking about our favorite slasher sequels and our favorite horror sequels, and he brought up Psycho 2, and I was like, well, damn, I guess I need to check it out. And yeah, Psycho 2 totally merits its existence. It has a lot to say, and it's got a lot of cool style to it. So yeah, that's actually that might be my favorite in the franchise. But yeah, I would definitely recommend it if you haven't seen it, regardless.
Don't expect Psycho though. It's a really interesting take on the Norman Bates character and just exactly where he would be at that time. It's really unique. It's not like a full bore slasher. It's a different story. It's really unique.
Absolutely. Believe in the hype. Do you think the 2019 Child's Play will be a part of the box set? It's hard to say because the first Child's Play is a part of the box set, but I don't know if they gave up distribution rights for that or something, and that's why.
Maybe that was a trade.
Maybe.
We'll let you have it, but let us make a new one.
Yeah. I don't know. I would be surprised if I saw it because it would be like they're getting along, but at the same time, I don't know how those rights are worked out. So I don't know. On the surface, it doesn't seem like they would want it in the box set if Universal is the one that pays for it. But then again, like I said, I don't know where that decision making comes from. If Universal has any say in it whatsoever,
you'd be surprised, man. Paramount traded Interstellar for the rights to Friday the 13th. And Warner did, or vice versa, and the person that picked up Friday the 13th did nothing. And Interstellar, it did all right. So the trades that they make sometimes are really strange.
Oh, yeah. Roy, so The Mask from 1994 is being remade, and they're going with a female lead. Of course they are. They also said they want to have an elite female comedian be the one to wear the mask.
Oh, so Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah, exactly. Or what's her face that makes all the faces? The blonde from Ghostbusters. What the fuck is her name?
Oh, Kate McKinnon. Or Tiffany Haddish. There's your three. One of those three.
Yep. I don't know. Like the Mask is a product of its time. I don't even see a movie like that succeeding nowadays. But this whole thing about let's go back and do it again, but we'll swap genders. It just seems so lazy to me. Like, if you're going to have a female lead in a movie like that, make your own damn movie. Like, make something that fits that actor's strengths. Like, just shoving the gender thing in there just to seem fresh and relevant, it fails more times than it hits.
I have Little on my uncle's hard drive over there. And Little is the gender race swap of Big. And I just can't get around to watching it. It's just sitting there like, hey, you're getting tired. Why don't you watch this before you go to bed? I'm just like, no, I don't want to watch this.
Yep. I have had no interest in that shit. You leave Big alone, damn it.
Yeah. It's not trying to be. I mean, there's no piano scene, but it's a girl who ends up being a little girl. But I'll give them credit in this day and age. At least it happens in the trailer. The girl who's an adult woman who is shrunk into a little girl's body is going back to school, but she likes the teacher and she's hitting on the teacher who's a man. And he's like, she says something like, do you think we have something going on here? And he gives her a double take. He's like, no, not at all. And it's funny to see them touch on something like that's risque in today's day and age. So points for doing that, at least. I don't know.
If it's the guy teacher who's older, it's always weird. If it was the opposite, we'd be like, get it. So
there's your chance. Go.
You can find out about something awesome early, boy. So it's weird how the gender thing swaps, and it goes from something where you're like rooting them on to something that's totally like worth jail. It's almost not even fair. I think Joe Rogan had a bit about that where he was talking about there was a commercial where it was a commercial for a male baby, and he's going to nightclubs and he's got his bottle and he's hanging out, and there's all like these like strippers and like mini skirts dancing around him, and he's like, dude, that only works with that gender and that gender.
Yes.
He's like, if you swapped it and there was a female baby going around, there was a bunch of dudes swinging dick around her, they're like, everybody would fucking arrest whoever wrote that idea down.
Yeah. Dude, not since George. I'm a bit of a comedy connoisseur. Excuse me. Not since George Carlin has there been a comedian like Joe Rogan who Republicans really get a kick out of and Democrats really get a kick out of, because he's just making everybody sound fucking stupid, and it's refreshing. It's so refreshing.
I love Joe Rogan so much.
Yes.
I love him so much. Let's see here. Good night, Renegade Hero.
Good night.
CP, do you like people under the stairs? I know Cody does not.
Hey, do you hear that? Do I like you? No, sorry, that was a bad joke.
I didn't know where you were going with that.
What the fuck is he doing?
I was like, Emily's a fan? What's going on?
I'm airbagging. I saw it once forever ago when it came out. And the only thing I remember from that movie is the guy without teeth, who's been in a bunch of other movies, the Foo, and the black kid from
Sandlot,
and Mighty Ducks too, right? Whatever.
Or it is Mighty Ducks, yeah.
So it didn't stick enough with me. I remember two lines because I remember watching it as like when I was a kid. Man, you guys today won't understand what it would be like to go into a rental store where they didn't check your IDs. You just rented whatever the fuck because they wanted their $3 no matter what. And dude, I would just, is it new? Is it horror? Rent it. And then sure enough, I forgot it. I rented it forever ago, never thought to go back to it. So I don't remember it enough. I just remember lines because me and whoever I was watching it with thought it was funny that he was saying foo.
Yeah, it's one of those movies I've watched 2 or 3 times now, and it's just too silly for me. I don't really get into it. It's one of Wes Craven's misses for me, but I've brought it up that I think it would be a great movie to remake because it's got some cool ideas, and it's got a lot of social commentary in it that people would have a blast with bringing up nowadays. So I think it would be a cool one to revisit for somebody. But funny you bring it up. It is something that you can't quite describe the experience to anybody that wasn't around for it, but like renting films back in the old video store days and everything was ass backwards from what it is today, like where people decide on films. Nowadays, people watch YouTube reviews, they look at Letterboxd, they look at IMDb, they look at Rotten Tomatoes, what are people saying about this? Back in our day, you'd walk in, which one has the coolest cover?
Yeah.
That was it. Like, there were so many horror films that I remembered that I never got a chance to watch just because of the cover. Like Night of the Living Dead 3, or Return of the Living Dead 3, rather, where the chick, the chick with all the barbs coming out of her.
Ghoulies was one that I never got to see, but that cover, I'm like, well, that's interesting. Little dude sticking out of a toilet. What the fuck's going on there?
Ghoulies, Night of the Demons, where she's got the little sucker. Like, I remember even going into Best Buy, and I would look at the same fucking VHS tapes every time I walk into that store and wonder if, like, should I ask Dad to buy this? Because if we take it home and it sucks, he's gonna hate me. So it's you would buy it based off of what had the most badass cover, and that's why you look at 80s films. There's all these iconic VHS covers where nowadays it's all the same, it's actor face like this and the title,
or back to back if it's two people and
yeah. Yep, exactly. So it was a totally different thing.
Mm.
And it was funny. Somebody asked me once. They were like, "Do you think that they should bring back a Blockbuster, or would you want them to bring back Blockbuster for nostalgia's sake?" And I'm like, I want to say yes, but I don't even. I would walk in and I'd be like, "This shit's on Netflix. I'm getting the fuck out of here."
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it just
people
wouldn't
won't
work
do it.
anymore.
Like, it wouldn't make it. It'd be a nice museum, if anything. People won't go there to like actively use it. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, this is what it was like. Neat." And they always had that smell. I don't know what the hell that smell was, but plastic, like I don't like the carpet and it, like it just, you just knew what Blockbuster smelled like, and I
Yep.
can't explain it.
Yep.
Yeah, and
It
yes,
smells like those winder machines.
yes, Zach, tribute to you. I did full on airbag. Shout out to Zach.
Cody refuses to talk Demon Knight. I don't know what that's in reference to, but I really like Demon Knight.
Tell something.
Yeah, I know the movie. I don't know what the joke is. But yeah, Demon Knight's pretty damn good, actually. I bought that not too long ago. I bought that and Bordello of Blood. Not the same amount of praise for Bordello of Blood. Demon Knight actually is a lot of fun. Oh, he made a video a while ago saying he was going to review Demon Knight. I did have that as a patron request, didn't I? Oops. I will get to it. There's a list. What is your guys' opinion on the Critters movies? I still have yet to watch any of them. I bought the box set with full plans on teasing Brian about reviews, but I watched the first one on a night where I was extremely tired, fell asleep, and I've yet to pop it back in.
Yeah. Emily dug the first one and the second one, and I was with her by the time she was watching and reviewing too, and like I would check in every now and again, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know about this.
You just poke your head in the mirror like, oh, you're still watching that.
Yeah. Okay. What? They're in a spaceship. Yeah. I'm gonna go sniff glue or something. I don't I don't want to deal with this.
Yeah. Brian swears by all four of them, so we'll see. I don't know if they're better than Psycho 4, but we'll have to give it a chance. Let's see. Donnie Darko review. That would be one that would be fun to kind of dive into.
That movie ages more and more poorly the more I see it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I loved that movie when it came out. Really enjoyed it when it first came out in DVD, and the more I watch it, the more I'm like, this guy had no idea what he was doing, and he got really lucky.
He hasn't had much hit since.
Nope.
He's had let's see, what was the one with the rock in it? Southland Tales.
Yeah.
Which was really out there, and then The Box.
Oh, it's such a great premise too, and it just goes out of left field at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you disagree, but
I never watched it.
Oh, I mean, nothing. It's great. Go watch it.
I thought the premise sounded cool. It sounded like a Twilight Zone episode, but then I heard from basically every review that the premise of the Twilight Zone episode is pretty cool, but then it gets really, what the fuck is going on here, the whole movie. Yeah. And then I heard guy who made Southland Tales and Donnie Darko, and I went, never mind.
Yeah.
So
a box, you push the button, somebody dies, and you get $1 million. But if you turn it down, we will bring the box to somebody else. And it gets your mind working like, wait a minute. If I don't push the button and you make the same offer to somebody else and they push the button, does that mean I die? Like, that's a great premise. And then after we do all that, then we're going on to some other weird shit. And like, it was like, wait, no, what about this box idea? That's really awesome. Why are we talking about aliens? What the hell is happening?
Aliens?
Dude, it gets really weird and dumb. Like, what the fuck? You ruined it. You had it and you ruined it.
Well, summarize it for me, because I have no interest in watching it. And if anybody doesn't want to be spoiled on a movie that's like 12 years old, dude, I guess earmuffs.
Yeah, it takes place like in the 70s, I want to say 70s or 80s, a while ago, and the dude works for NASA or some shit, and it turns out everybody's following him, and like the box eventually becomes inconsequential, and it's all about this dude and this cover up for like aliens or space, dude, I don't like, that's how much it departed from the like original 20 minutes. I was just like, wait, what's happening now? So why is the box important?
Weird.
It's I don't know if there's like a YouTube video that condenses it in 10 minutes. I would suggest doing that because the trailer really great. Oh man, that's neat. A box that if you push the button, somebody else dies. But if you don't push the button, somebody else gets the same offer, and who knows? It could be you that dies. But from there, it's just kooky crisp.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Sounds like I don't need to watch it. Orphan review. I've seen that question a couple times. What do you think of Orphan? I have no plans for a review, but I really like Orphan. Orphan's a pretty cool movie. It's got some good tension and everything to it. I love Vera Farmiga. The twist is pretty cool. It got blown for me before I saw the movie, so I didn't have that big shock. But it's definitely cool. It goes for it. I mean, it's especially whenever the third act comes and the husband gets his fate. They don't hold back. So I like that one.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's fine. Yes, I am going to take the family to see Lion King.
Oh. Also known as is air breathable.
Yeah. Let's see here. Have you all seen Would You Rather? I have not. I remember, is that the one with the poster where they have the razor blade by the eye? I think I've seen it on Shudder or Netflix or some shit.
Yeah, nope.
Summer of '84 2, possibly? I don't want a sequel to it. I loved Summer of '84. I think I was the one that loved it the most out of our little group. But to me, the ending doesn't have near the power that it does if you decide to tell what happens later. I think the entire power of that ending is the what if.
Yeah, that's a good point.
What if when? You know what I mean? Does it ever happen? Does it happen 2 days after this movie ends? Does it happen 10 years after this movie ends? Does it, knowing the answer to that question would squander why that ending was so chilling. So that's my vote. Cody Leach listens to Billie Eilish. I don't even know who the fuck that is.
Nope.
Nope. Don't get the reference, Diego. I'm sorry. Cody, does your coworkers and neighbors watch your channel? I don't think my neighbors do. My neighbors are aware that I have a channel. Some of my coworkers do. Most of my coworkers just ask me at work, "Hey, did you see Spider-Man last night? How was it?" They know that I'm the movie guy. I have heard stories from people, both Holly's mother, a couple of the people where they have mentioned my channel in passing, and that person will be like, "Wait, who?" And then they'll tell them, and they're like, "Oh, I've been watching him for, a year
That's
plus."
neat.
And it is kind of neat. I'm like, I don't run into these people, but apparently people know of me. So yeah, that's about the extent that goes. Let's see here. Would you like James Wan to get a hold of one of the big three? Freddy.
Yeah.
I think his style would work best for Freddy. I had a question earlier today in my Q&A. What if John Carpenter was hired to make a Nightmare film? And I was like, now or 20 years ago? Because it's two different answers.
Yeah. No. I don't know. What's strange is the only person that has seemed to what's his name? The dude who actually has directed a Halloween and a Friday the 13th movie. H2O's director. What the fuck is his name? Why is it slipping my mind?
Has he?
Yeah, there's one director that's directed a Friday the 13th and a Halloween.
Let me see. I will answer that question for you. We have... Okay, we don't have shit because this doesn't tell me anything. Damn it.
Delay.
Story by, music by, based on. Okay, and now I have to click. Directed by Steve Miner.
Steve Miner. How did I forget Steve Miner's name?
Okay, so Friday the 13th, 2 and 3, and then H2O.
Yep. And
House. House is a great one, too.
Yeah, so
and Lake Placid.
He's not that big I mean, to normal people, he's not that big a name. He's not, he's not, a carpenter like that. But he's managed to hold his own. He doesn't really have a look clearly that sticks out about himself. So maybe being too much of a personality is not conducive to doing these big projects. Can you imagine something like Jordan Peele doing one of the big three? Like what?
I don't know. As long as they check their ego at the door and don't make it such a their movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're stepping into territory that people are very familiar with and passionate about. You have to check your ego at the door a bit. As long as they're not like, I'm going to make Freddy psychedelic Twilight Zone episode about race relations. It's just, as long as you're not going that far with it, then absolutely, like, get a directing talent of Jordan Peele on there, and I'm like, cool.
You don't want Pink Floyd making a Beatles song.
Yeah.
A little too much. Just rein it in a little bit.
Exactly. So yeah, I don't know. They just need to get somebody that's not, intern A, or music video director who's never done anything.
Yeah.
Like they did with the fucking remake. So as long as they put somebody that's capable in there, give it its own style, and we don't need a huge name. Josh Miller, Cody, at this point in the Conjuring franchise, do you have any interest in the Conjuring 3 or the Crooked Man movie? Yes and no. Yes to Conjuring 3, no to Crooked Man movie. The Conjuring movies are easily the best of the franchise, the two of them. James Wan is directing the third one, I believe. I could be wrong about that. If he's not, then I'll switch my answer. But I'm burnt out with the universe as a whole, and especially these side movies, like the character ones, like Annabelle, The Nun, The Crooked Man, the 3, 4, 5 other fucking characters that they introduced in Annabelle that I know they're trying to squeeze some more juice. So yeah, The Conjuring 3 will have my interest, because I also hear that it's going to be a lot different than the first two, and Patrick Wilson's been hyping it up pretty good. Crooked Man I could give a flying fuck about, because I don't even think Crooked Man was that cool in Conjuring 2.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Hello? Did I lose you?
No. Hi. Or is it on your end? Hello, everybody. Hi. It seems like Cody's having a problem. And it looks like he's having a problem. Okay, so I guess I'll keep talking. So thoughts on They Live. I've seen They Live. Oh, boy, he's really down. Thoughts on They Live. Really interesting movie. Still holds up today. Doesn't need a remake. Just go watch it and deal with the 1980s-ness of it. It might be me. If you can hear me, see me in the chat, just say something, because I need to make sure which one of us is broken.
Oh, there we are.
So it was you. Okay.
Yeah, that happened when we did the Chucky thing, I think. For whatever reason, my end froze.
Okay. Yeah.
It was you looking down, like, really disappointed and bored at whatever I was talking about, and then it just stayed there.
Yeah, because the chat stopped too, and I'm like, fuck, I think this is my end. And I was like, somebody say something, because the chat wasn't moving. I don't know what part's broken.
What's happening? I don't know what to do with my hands. Donald Newton, what's going on, man? But yeah, to summarize whatever got cut off, The Conjuring 3 interests me. I didn't even like The Crooked Man and Conjuring 2, so I could give a fuck about that movie. Let me see. Now everybody's chiming in finally. I could see you.
Yeah, there's a delay.
We're back. It's all good now. Yes, it is.
Yeah. Little delay. Little delay on the chat and everything else.
Cool.
Somebody asked before that I thought was interesting. What's your favorite of 2019 so far?
Probably Endgame.
Yeah.
Just because that theater experience was just so fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It's hard to recreate that. Endgame is up there. Dragged Across Concrete is a very close second.
let's see, what else have I just loved this year? I mean, Child's Play I really liked, obviously.
Have you seen Triple Frontier yet?
I have not. I have not yet. I still need to check that out. It's weird how much I talk about movies and I forget what the fuck I saw this year.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, what else came out this year? Like, you know what I mean? It's just that aside from like the ones that really pissed you off, you don't remember anything. You're like, huh?
Dude, try doing a yearly list where you're just going through everything you've seen for the year. And I'm like, all right, I know I saw 133, but I'm at 12.
Yeah, dude.
What else did I watch this year?
Yeah, Glass is very high up there. I pulled up my little playlist. Glass is way up there. Shazam I enjoyed quite a bit. Long Shot was actually a pretty damn good comedy.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
I enjoyed Aladdin quite a bit.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man. So yeah, those are the ones that would be like in my top 5 or 6 that I just said. Yeah, but Endgame by a pretty large margin is probably my favorite, just because if I watch it at home, it might diminish a little bit. Like maybe it was just the theater experience, the excitement of everybody being there, but that theater experience was just. I mean, like the last hour of that movie was like every 5 minutes was like the whole crowd, yeah! Like over and over. It was just not something I'd never seen before, so it was just a blast. Most disappointing of the year. What is your most disappointing of the year? I got that question earlier.
Oh shit! Do you have yours ready? Because I can. I'll need to check.
Mine is probably going to be yours. Pet Sematary.
Oh fuck! That might be it. Yeah. I
That's
just
definitely
want to double check my list because it might be that. Yeah. It's Pet Sematary.
Yeah, and I didn't hate Pet Sematary, but that's definitely the one that I had the most hoped for. So the only other one would be, let's see, for disappointing.
Yeah, I had Dark Phoenix. I didn't have much into Dark Phoenix.
Dark Phoenix, yeah, Dark Phoenix would be the one rubbing shoulders with it, but I expected a lot less out of Dark Phoenix than I did Pet Sematary.
Right. Yeah. And Unicorn Store.
What the fuck is that?
Oh, it's the Brie Larson directorial movie. It's fucking terrible.
Movie I saw where she's got the white hat and she's like,
Yep.
and she's got paint on her.
Netflix is like, please watch this. Don't you want to watch this?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. We got Captain Marvel's movie. That's exactly what it was like. That's why I didn't watch it. I'm like, stop telling me what to do. No.
Yo, the acting.
It was like when fucking MoviePass was trying to tell me how awesome Gotti was.
Get the fuck out of here with Gotti. The critics are saying this. No, they're not. You're full of shit, MoviePass app.
I don't trust you. Oh man. Let's get real, guys. Thoughts on Brian's beard? I think it's tightening his head because I think it's affected his movie taste. Aside from Midsummer, maybe he shaved before he saw that. But suddenly the entire Texas Chainsaw franchise is worse than other movies we've talked about. Seed of Chucky is an underrated masterpiece. We've heard some crazy Brian stuff lately, dude, and it's all come after beard.
I cannot wait until October because his list is going to be bonkers.
Oh my god,
bonkers.
Yes.
Like you could probably get close with everybody else's, and then Brian is going to be like, "Wait, what?"
It's going to be like like last year, where everybody's top 5 or 6 will be similar, everybody's bottom 3 or 4 will be similar, and everything in the middle will kind of shuffle around. Brian, no fucking idea. Like I would have bet money Seed of Chucky would be a shoe-in for everybody. I would have bet money that Next Generation Texas Chainsaw would be a shoe-in for everybody. That might be his fucking favorite for all I know. I don't know. But it's Brian has had some very eyebrow-raising opinions on some of these movies we've been prepping. So it's
didn't he poo-poo the TCM remake too?
Yes. Yes, he did.
I mean, I can understand you not liking the original, but the remake.
That's what I said. I was like, if I was to bet money before he watched the franchise, I would have said he's going to hate the first 4. He's going to like the remake. He's going to think the beginning was almost as good, and he's going to hate everything afterwards. But it's been ass backwards to where he's basically hated everything except for the beginning. The beginning, he's like, is so much better than the remake. I'm like, it's the exact same shit as the remake, but just not as good.
Yeah, that exact same thing argument goes nowhere with Brian.
Yeah, it's not at all.
Friday 5 is a better story than 1. Oh,
I think he even said that. At least the beginning attempts something at a story, and I'm like, it's the same fucking story. It's the same thing you had with that. So it's Brian. We love you. We love you for how kooky and crazy you are. But the beard is definitely. The beard makes you scary with some things you've been saying.
Hashtag not my Brian.
Yeah, there we go. Oh man. Let's see here. Cody, what King book or movie needs to be made? I'd like to see another Christine at some point. I think Christine's prime for a modern one.
Take that same Chucky angle too, because cars are doing so much more than just driving now, where you can kind of embrace the electronic, the AI type stuff.
Yeah,
with
possibly.
Christine at least. Yeah. Just waiting for them to make Freddy a female.
Don't give them any ideas. Don't even speak that shit into existence. I do not want to hang out with Fredwina Krueger. Is I Know What You Did Last Summer a overlooked slasher movie now? Not really. I mean, it kind of fits in that 90s. Like I said, the 90s just doesn't have the nostalgia the 80s does. So you think about 90s franchises, you think about, like, Scream is the only one that people hold up. You got I Know What You Did Last Summer. You got Candyman. You got Wishmaster. You got Leprechaun. And pretty much all of those you only know about if you're a horror person.
Yeah.
You talk about Wishmaster to somebody, and they're like, "The fuck is that?"
Yeah. Scream was '96, and everything before that was just like, guys, I think horror's done.
Yeah.
Like everything before Scream was just like, oh, really?
Yep. Believe in the hype. Is it a crying shame that they can't get Pinhead right? Yes, it is, because he's one of the coolest looking and the coolest sounding characters ever. But I think the mistake is he was never meant to be the face of the franchise, but he quickly became the face of the franchise, and they went, oh, fuck. So they had to shoehorn him into everything, and pretty much what I've gathered with all the shitty Hellraiser movies is they were like, C-grade cop stories that were sitting on a desk somewhere, and they, scratched out a little red line with an arrow and put Pinhead here.
Yeah.
So that's...
You can't think of something original? You got to go after an NYPD Blue, episode that went wrong and throw some Hellraiser on it? Okay. Doesn't make much sense to me.
Christine doesn't need a damn remake. Same with Jacob's Ladder doesn't need a damn remake, but there's a damn remake coming out. Well, I mean, no movie needs a remake if it's a good movie,
right.
But it's a fucking reality. It's going to happen. So it's like, which one would you rather see?
It's very easy to say, I don't want a remake for that movie before the movie comes out. And then when the movie is good, suddenly people have nothing to say. It's, you got to roll the dice.
Yeah. And you trust me, we lose that dice roll a lot, but there's a lot of remakes, in my opinion, that have not only surpassed the original, but are definitely worthy of hanging out with the original. What the fuck just happened in the chat?
I got it. Bye.
Don't you hate it when you do that shit and you try to boot somebody and the chat shifts?
The wrong person, fuck! No, come back, so-and-so. I didn't mean to boot you.
Oh, man. Believe in the hype. If Freddy's Dead was more about his past, would you have liked it more? No. I mean, the movie had plenty of his past. If Freddy's Dead wasn't Freddy's Dead, would I have liked it more? Sure. There was a lot of early ideas for Freddy's Dead that are 1,000 times more interesting than what we actually got. Like, there was actually a Peter Jackson script where Freddy was basically a joke to the Elm Street kids at that point. They would actually go to sleep, find him in the dream world, and mock and kick the shit out of him. And Freddy ends up killing one of them and starts spreading a little bit of fear again, and that's how he kind of revamps. That was the original script for Freddy's Dead. But we get Looney Tunes cartoon.
Now you're playing with power.
All right, I got to read this because I've seen it 10,000 times tonight. Cody, I think CP wants a triple threat match with us unless CM Punk burnt him out of his bed.
I said that.
I
in
don't
passing
recognize.
Yeah,
Huh?
it's a wrestling thing from last night. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a wrestling guy, so that's why I didn't answer it. I have no idea who CM Punk is or what a triple threat match would be. So, if Chucky looked better in 2019, would have more people liked it? I mean, that's one element, maybe, but I think it's just the Mancini throwing a fit that hurt it the most. And their choice to put it out in June. I think if they would have came out in October, I think it would have made a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here.
Have you seen? You haven't watched the Scream show, right? I've seen the question about
No.
the trailer for 3. I haven't seen season 2, so I'm kind of steering clear.
No, I haven't seen any of it. Season 3 supposedly has nothing to do with the first 2 seasons.
Awesome.
They've kind of deleted that and rebooted, and it's supposed to be like the old school Ghostface and everything like that. So I really don't know where it fits, but it just looked odd. It looked like, I'm trying to choose my words carefully here because it has nothing to do with the fact that it's a mostly black cast. It's produced by Queen Latifah, and it looks like one of those types of movies where they wanted to make a horror film and Ghostface got kind of thrown into it.
I was just trying to get out of frame before you said something that I didn't want to be associated with.
No. I'm careful about my words. That's why I was like, I don't want to say it where it could be like, he hates it because there's black people in it. Like, no, it has nothing to do with that. It's just the trailer didn't look like much of a Scream movie. It looked like something like a Queen Latifah produced movie where they're trying to have,
Barbershop. Just say it. You want to say barbershop.
Something like that, yes, where they're going for that type of audience and that type of demographic, but then you see Ghostface pop up into frame a couple of times, and it was like, it doesn't feel like a Scream movie. It kind of just, I don't know, it felt like they were marketing it off the fact that the old mask is back, but then again, they didn't really show the story.
You. Why did that?
Oh, and then Paris Jackson is in it for like a second.
I'm wondering. Oh, you know what? Next time I should just report that because that's some shady shit.
Yeah.
It's like uber shady shit.
The trailer of Jacob's Ladder looks terrible and useless remake. Yeah, the trailer did nothing for me. It doesn't even look like Jacob's Ladder. It just looks like another movie that they wanted to make, but they used the title Jacob's Ladder. Like, I don't know. It was strange watching that trailer.
Yeah, I didn't think too much of the original. The original was, it's a movie that was really depressing and sad, and I don't ever want to watch it again. It was really a downer. Vietnam dude who, spoilers, actually dead.
Yeah. Oops.
Yeah, I'm no need to see that again, or a remake.
Any new Shout Factory releases you're looking forward to? Yeah, the Vampires, John Carpenter's Vampires.
Huh. I'm not in keen. I'm not in touch with what their schedule is.
I want to say they've announced a bunch of other shit really recently that look pretty cool, but it's not like for pre-order yet. CP was worried Cody Leach was about to have a PewDiePie N-word controversial moment. No. Cody Leach is a bit smarter.
CP isn't.
And also doesn't have the mindset that would make him use that word either. So it's not like I'm smart enough just not to use it. I wouldn't use it, period. Charles Thompson, as a black man, I agree with Cody here. Well, thank God. now I can step off the ledge. Cody and CP, love you guys. Your thoughts on Terminator Dark Fate? We actually discussed it earlier, man. Both skeptical.
This face emoji.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
Better action sci-fi movie: T2, Aliens, or Predator?
Who?
I'm going T2.
Oh man, that's actually really hard.
It is really hard. It is really hard.
You know, I'm just gonna. I'm not saying that I think this one's the best, but the one that I'll probably go to the most is Predator.
Yeah.
That's a good time, Predator.
Oh yeah, for sure. If I was to rank them, I would probably say T2, then Predator, then Aliens.
And
I love
really
all
close.
three of them.
Yeah,
I love all three of them.
4.9, 4.8.
Yeah, T2 was like one of those movies that like shaped me as a kid. Like I watched it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still like one of my favorite sequels, one of my favorite action movies. Like it would probably be my second favorite action movie behind Die Hard. Aliens I love, but I'm just not as close to the Alien franchise as I am Terminator, and the Predator is just a badass thing all the way to the start to finish.
Yeah, it takes a real left turn, and it's one of those rare movies that goes a complete different direction and is just as good, if not better, for the second half.
Hell yeah. Cassie Hart just joined us. Hey, Cassie.
Hey, Cassie.
Just became a mod in Killer Flicks, actually, Cassie Hart. So, uh-oh, CP's getting yelled at.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that
it's not his fault.
Fucking. We're getting 2 cameras. That's it. What the fuck are you doing filming at 1 a.m.? Jesus. I know why she's filming, because the dog shuts the hell up by 10 p.m.
Oh, God, that's horrible.
Yep.
CP and Cody Leach, your thoughts on the old school Sometimes They Come Back film and Christine film? Christine is one of my absolute favorites. Sometimes They Come Back is definitely a little dated because it's a TV film, but I enjoy that one as well. Sometimes They Come Back Again is actually pretty decent too. It's a lot gorier. It's got what's the dude's name? Alexis Arquette, the one that ended up going transgender and then died like a year after that or something.
Yeah. In Bride of Chucky.
Yeah, Bride of Chucky, the wedding singer. Pretty recognizable for a while there in the 90s. But yeah, they're love Christine. Sometimes They Come Back is enjoyable but dated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I haven't seen Sometimes They Come Back. And Christine, there's a bunch of movies that I took in horror a lot as a kid, and when I went to film school years back, like it's not cool to like horror movies in New York film school. So like I was like, let me cleanse myself and watch all these black and white Ingmar Bergman movies, and slowly I'm starting to come back, and there's movies that I haven't seen in decades I'm just slowly trying to get back to, and it's funny. Horror movies are ruined when like I don't know how to explain it. There's no way I can say this without sounding like a snob. But when you go to like school and learn like why things happen in movies, and then you go to a horror movie, there's a reason that horrors and comedies aren't respected on mainstream levels. And then when you know the technical end, you're like, oh yeah, this is dog shit. But I finally cleansed myself enough, at least, to go back and start watching the older stuff just to remind myself. And shit, now you've got stuff like Midsommar, which is it's a technically well-made horror movie. So we're finally coming around. Yeah.
Well, Sometimes They Come Back's pretty cool. It's are you familiar with the story?
Nope.
Or you just never? Yeah,
nope, just a flaming car on the cover, right?
It's in the 50s. Yeah, it starts in the 50s where there's these two brothers. They go off by themselves. These bullies come up, and through a turn of events, they end up killing the older brother accidentally and then getting hit by a train. So just the little brother survives, and he ends up coming back. Jesus Christ, they're back again. They end up
the little brother comes back as an adult to the town that he grew up in, and after he gets there, the ghosts of the three bullies start coming into his class as students, like reincarnated. So it's a pretty cool little movie. And we also missed it where Cassie Hart, CP, I started watching your wife's reviews, and I love each and every one of them.
As do I. I will tell her when she comes back in the room to ask me another question about how to work the camera. Which, by the way, most of those reviews that you've watched, I've probably been the DP on. Just saying. Or at least a gaffer.
Exactly. I held the tripod. That was my shot. Let me see here. I'm trying to report this comment. There it goes. All right. Cody, you love T2 so much. What is your opinion on T3? It's okay. It's got some fun moments to it. I think the ending's pretty good. I'm not a fan of Nick Stahl as John Connor. I think they have a little bit too much joke fun with the Terminator. It's decent enough. I don't hate it like a lot of people do. Let's see here.
Hi, Tom.
Oh, Jesus.
It's fine. It's fine.
This hide user on this channel button doesn't work for shit, YouTube. Because I smack people in the face with stuff like that all the time, and I always find them later on. I'm like, okay, was that like a 30-second timeout? It says hide user on channel, not hide user until you forget who the fuck they are. Let's see.
Pat yourself on the back. Listen, I'll take whatever credit I can get with that woman's stuff because way too much work she's putting into that. Way too much.
Dude, I can't even imagine. Like, people asked me earlier, like, how long does it take me to do a review? I'm like, I got it down to a science. Start to finish, from walking in front of the camera to hitting publish is about 2 hours. And then every time I talk to you, she's still working on the same fucking video that we were talking about the last time.
Dude, when we started talking, she was doing something. I asked about the camera. She just came in and started getting other things for a different angle. I'm like, what are you doing angles in a fucking review for? What are you doing?
Oh, man.
God bless.
I tell you what, if YouTube gave views and subscribers for effort, we would all be fucking doomed with that woman in this world. So, oh, man. Thoughts on the Final Destination reboot? Why reboot it is my thing. Why not just make it another Final Destination? They all start over. They're all, you could easily just say, okay, this is another set of teenagers that are now fucked. Mm-hmm. I mean, to reboot it, what does that mean? You're going to go back to the airport? I mean, that's the reboot can mean a lot of things. A reboot can be a sequel that's meant to kind of get the franchise going again, but I've heard they're doing a full-on remake.
With movies like that, the first one with the plane crash, that was really close to home because there was that plane crash over Long Island. Like they thought that was kind of based on that. I like it when movies get pretty close and serious. Have them, you want to have a little bit of a social message and not really address it in the movie. Have it be like a school shooting or some shit, and the kid has a premonition and prevents it from happening. And that's it about the school shooting. From there, death gets them. But, a little way of, just a little fucked up scene in the beginning. And I don't know why I want things to, like, I think we're babies. I think that's the problem. We're getting coddled. But, show us stuff. Come on. The internet's out there. We know it's out there. Let's just quit.
Kill some kids. Come on.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Put that in the quote. Put it right in the box. CP says kill kids.
Oh, God. That's all we need.
Wouldn't even make the top 3 this week for me, I don't think.
Yeah. Josh Miller, Cody, is there any movie that you hate more than Freddy's Dead? Probably not.
Wow.
It's not the worst movie ever made, but it is the movie that I despise the most. Let's see, movies that I hate: Freddy's Dead, Alien 3, Seed of Chucky.
I'm trying to think of movies that genuinely like anger me that they exist. Die Hard 5, whatever the fuck. A Good Day to Die Hard.
There's a good chase scene in that movie.
I would have to compile a list, but yeah, Freddy's Dead is certainly at the bottom for me. What is your like most hated movie? Doesn't have to be the worst, but the one that like you just despise its existence.
Jason X really bothers me. Like really, really, really bothers me. Like, because I think here's the problem. That movie came out when I was young and dumb and said a lot of stupid shit that eventually you learn as an adult you're a fucking idiot when you say certain things. And I said, all stupid movies go to space. At least my Friday the 13th sticks around in the woods. And sure enough, Friday the 13th goes to space.
You fucked us all.
And I was like, oh, man. Now I got to eat crow. And the movie sucks to boot. A couple of good kills. Let me not say that, but...
I have fun with it.
When he gets Uber Jason or whatever, just how?
Power Ranger.
Why? What?
Oh, yeah. Cosplay, bitch. Cody, I asked this earlier. Have you seen The Blacklist? I have not. Have you? James Spader? Yeah.
Nope.
No comment. Now that Cody and CP hate Donald Newton. Oh, Donald Newton's the one that posted that. Okay. I was going to say, we never said that.
Yeah, wait, what?
I don't. Outside of the inside joke. Mortal Kombat Annihilation is the worst ever. It's up there. I don't really have an idea for a new Scream movie.
Copycat. It's kind of like, Scream and Star Wars can't seem to get away from the bloodlines. You can make a Scream movie without it having to be that Sidney Prescott thing. Shit, copycats. I brought up before, school shootings, and people copy shit just because of news. It's really easy to go somewhere else with Scream, but keep Sidney Prescott around. Okay, fine. Just incredibly terrible luck this woman has.
If you're gonna do a Scream 5, the first thing I would say is write the deaths of all 3 of the surviving members.
Please.
They should have done it with 4, but that would be my thing. Like, definitely, like, Dewey better not fucking live through this one. Gail better not fucking live for this one. If you're gonna have a way where Sydney maybe that's like the way to raise the stakes. Like the opening scene that these movies are always famous for is those two getting fucking killed violently.
Yep.
And then she's like, oh shit. And then she's, with new characters for the whole movie, and then she sacrifices herself at the end or something like that. Now you have a new cast. But they need to quit the bullshit with those 3 because, I like the first 4 Screams quite a bit, but, don't give me another one where everybody walks away unscathed. Cody, will you ever do a kill count? Absolutely not. I've already gotten shit because I have a video with kill in the title for apparently being a Dead Meat ripoff because I talk about which kills are better than others. I guess it's the same as saying, not shitting on the guy. He's successful as fuck, but I have no interest in saying, hey guys, that movie you've seen 1,000 times, let's walk through it together. And it's a recap. It's a recap with some focus on the kills and some graphics involved. And I just don't.
If you're on YouTube and you think you're seeing some incredible originality and it's displaying somebody else's work, already there's no originality there. So a lot of people do a lot of similar shit. Like, just some people are more popular at it. It's so strange. This rip-off shit is. I digest.
Yep. We're Jeremy Johns rip-offs until Dead Meat rip-offs.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have no interest in doing that. Not only because the guy already has it pretty much branded and he has that market pretty much cornered. But even if there was nobody else, even if the only channel doing kill counts was, a 3,000 subscriber channel, I just don't have any interest in doing that. I'm not a recap guy. I like giving opinions and insight and, discussing it, not just recapping it. So, no, I'll never do a kill count. And if I did, I'd be fucking skewered.
Juno 2000. This is your warning.
My mouse is hovering over those 3 dots. I'm just fucking telling you now.
I'm kidding.
Don't worry. Any action he takes, I'll immediately retract. You want a wrench? Oh man. What? It's not the same. I watch his reviews.
Yeah. You're using common sense. That's your first problem. He's talking about dead meat.
Okay. Yeah. It's not the same at all.
Yeah.
Major fan of the Species franchise. What are your thoughts? I've seen that a couple times.
Is that with Natasha Henstridge?
Yeah.
It was all right.
I like the first one. I don't remember a lot about it. I haven't seen it in years. I've never seen the others. I remember seeing it in theaters as a kid. I remember being a lot of naked.
I'm glad you said it before I did, because that's all I remember about it. That she wasn't ugly. That's what I remember.
Yeah, I remember a lot of naked. I remember something about the kid eating the banana peels, and I remember Michael Madsen, his one-liner when he kills her, like, "Let go, you motherfucker!" Pow. That's all I remember. Cody, will you be doing a top 10 slasher icon? I'm sure eventually I have that on my docket.
Get really thin towards
like
the end there.
Yeah, I'd it would be a debatable top 4, and then sure for 5 to 7 to 10.
Most anxiety-inducing horror movie you've seen? Mine's Mother.
What was it?
Most anxiety-inducing horror movie you've seen? Movie that makes you anxious.
Anxiety. Probably when I saw the first Hostel in theaters.
Ooh, okay.
Because I didn't really know what to expect from it. I didn't realize it was going to be so extreme, and I was anxious that whole movie just because of how much it was showing. And that movie really fucked me up. Like me and my dad both felt like we had just watched a snuff film, and we like felt weird for like 2 hours after the movie. Like I had a Seven Dust CD that I had just bought at Best Buy, and we got through maybe one song before we got to the theater, and we watched it. And when we got back into the car, Seven Dust came back on, and we drove away, and we didn't even get to the first red light, and we turned it off. We were like, angry vibes, not right now, thank you. So that's one. I also got pretty anxious during the Texas remake when I saw that in theaters. Leatherface right up on people's ass. The scene where the dude's running through the sheets, just barely trying to get away. That's a anxiety experience.
I have mild agoraphobia. There's a film that I actually spoke to the director and actress of. It's a smaller, a micro-budget film titled "Crawl or Die," where a woman who's scantily clad is running away from aliens, but she's in tubes, and the tubes get smaller and smaller and smaller.
Ugh.
And it's just by the end of the movie, she's just crawling in a tube, and it just gets tighter and tighter.
Yeah, I got
claustrophobic.
Claustrophobic. Yeah, just describing that makes my skin crawl.
Yeah, yeah. Ugh.
I watch videos, like I've seen like underwater cave divers and shit, and I'm like, I don't know how the fuck you people do that, where there's space this big, and you're underwater, and you're squeezing between rocks that can just go clink, and you're done.
You just bang your knee, and you're like, oh, I got nowhere to go.
Yeah. My shoes stuck. Fuck, I can't go backwards. Yeah, there's movies. Claustrophobia will get to me during movies. It's not like a paralyzing fear or anything, but just if I see certain things. Like, even watching something like, even scenes like in Shawshank where he's just crawling through that tunnel for God knows how long, and it's just like, fuck that. Like, I would be escaping from prison, and I would see that's my only way out, and I'd be like, fuck it, that ain't too bad here.
At least the bread's okay.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, when I start doing this when I'm watching a movie, I know something's wrong, because I'm all like, I don't like any of this. Please hurry up.
Or if you see a movie like Arachnophobia where there's spiders everywhere, you're like...
Yeah. You're like, oh, I'm going to feel it for an hour now. What is that?
Yeah. Your facial hair touches your shirt, and you're like, ah!
Yeah.
Let's see.
All right, so Kevin's asked about it 16 times. American Psycho review thoughts.
No, probably not. I've seen it once. It's not a type of movie I really think I need to watch again. It's interesting. It's a showcase for Christian Bale for sure. It's an interesting movie to debate because a lot of people believe that he didn't do anything and it was all in his head. I'm of the camp that everybody else believes that he didn't do anything and he can't get anybody to believe him.
I've never heard that. Yeah, okay.
It's to me, the movie is more of a commentary on how self-absorbed that yuppie culture of that time was.
Oh, yeah.
So the scene to me that tips it off is when he goes back to his apartment building and he's been evicted and they're trying to resell it. And she's like, "Are you the one that lived here?" And just the look on her face when she realizes that he's the one, because you realize that she just cleaned up all that dead bodies and shit like that so that she could sell this place and get rid of it without anybody knowing. His friends, his coworkers, he like the whole end of the movie where he's trying to tell her like, "I've murdered like 30 people," and nobody will listen to him. Everybody's just like, "What the fuck ever, dude?" Like, all right, what kind of skin cleanser did you use? Like,
mergers and acquisitions.
Yeah, so that's to me what the movie is. It's not yeah.
Two notes on that. One, Emily absolutely adores that movie. She loves American Psycho. She quotes that to death. Two, the 4K transfer sucks for anybody who has a 4K TV and or player and is looking to get that.
Well, that sucks because I already bought it.
Oh, well, enjoy yourself.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna say it's incredible.
No.
I'm like, oh, I'll check it out tomorrow.
No, well, I mean, I got it on Black Friday last year. It was like $8, so fuck it. I don't know how much you paid for it, but it's you got a nice, really different colored Blu-ray. That's all.
Nice coaster. Cassie Hart, guys, what do you think about Kevin Smith's Red State? I quite love it.
I agree.
Yeah. I really like that one. I'm not a big fan of Tusk. I think that's where he got a little crazy. But
it gets
Red
worse.
State.
Have you seen the fucking the Sausage Man movie or whatever the fuck that's called? Yoga Hosers.
No.
Stay away. Yeah.
There's a reason why he hasn't made a film in a while, and that's it. But yeah, Red State, I was genuinely surprised by it. I had some Tarantino like approach to it. It was very surprising.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get somebody like Michael Parks in there chewing up the scenery. Like that's a movie like that. That's a good comparison to Midsummer. A movie like that, like with a crazy cult and the approach they take with that, where you go along the ride. Like, give me Red State over Midsummer
10
any day.
times over, yeah.
Any fucking
Dude,
day.
that ending too. Oh.
Shut the fuck up! Total Kevin Smith ending. But yeah, Red State's pretty kick-ass. I need to rewatch that. I haven't seen that since it came out. But it was funny. A story with Red State. I was working at Target at the time, and any movie that I would download, because I used to be really big into that, I gave it to my coworker to watch, and he really liked it. And I guess in a day when I wasn't there, he had talked up this lady that I was very close with, Sally, who was very not like churchgoer, but a very nice lady or whatever. And I never really thought of her as being like somebody that would enjoy a movie like that. And I guess he had talked it up to her. She's like, "You need to give me Red State." And I was like, "No, not doing that." It was so funny. He's like, "Come on." He's like, "I told her all about the movie." And I was like, "I'm not giving it to her." Like, just because of the dialogue alone. Especially where the three kids are trying to find the chick to fuck and everything.
Yeah,
and I'm
she's
just like,
a church lady too, where like.
Well, I don't know if she's a church. I'm just saying, but I viewed her as mom.
Okay,
She was like my target mom. So she might watch all the crazy stuff that I did, but she never felt that way. You know what I mean? It was always like I wouldn't even sit down to watch Red State with my grandmother. You know what I mean? So it was one of those things where I was just like, I'm not doing it. Nope. You're not seeing it.
I wonder
Shield
what
in your eyes.
Think of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Black Christmas the creepiest slasher film ever? No.
No. It's definitely creepy though. The voices, and the eye, shit like that.
Yeah.
Um, Thoughts on Toy Story 4 and the franchise as a whole?
Unnecessary fourth movie. Okay.
Yeah. I liked it a little bit more when I saw it the second time. I took Riley to go see it a couple of days ago.
Yeah, those puppets are creepy.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I definitely prefer the ending of 3. There's still some things about the way they did the relationship between Bonnie and Woody that I thought was a little off.
Mm-hmm.
But I was more okay with Woody's story arc the second time around than I was the first time.
Emily had a good point, and she was like, "Why did Buzz just become an absolute moron in the fourth one?"
Dude, I had said that too. I was like, he's acting like Buzz from Toy Story 1.
Yeah.
Where he's like still ignorant to how the world works. And it's like, motherfucker, you've been around for like 12 years at this point. Like, get it together. You know what I mean? It was. I need to watch 2 and 3 again to see if they ever progressed him, but I felt like he got smarter after the first film when he realized he wasn't a fucking space guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, they got to follow my inner voice the whole movie. Yeah. Thanks, inner voice. That was his whole story.
It's just so strange. Like, you already got the spork thing as the weirdo. Like, what? You don't need this much silly.
Yeah, exactly. What do you both think Breakdown 1997 is intense and underrated? Yes, I actually do.
I've never seen it.
You've never seen Breakdown with fucking Kurt Russell?
No.
Oh, man. No. That's one of his best movies.
Really?
You know what it's about?
No.
Oh, shit. Him and his wife are driving across country. Their car breaks down. Trucker offers to take her to the next phone. She never shows up. And the rest of the movie, he's trying to find her. And it gets crazier from there. So it's one of my favorite Kurt Russell movies. So yes, I think it's very intense, and I think it's very underrated, and I think CP needs to review it.
Okay.
Who would like that? Me.
Who would like it? Cody. Thanks for watching.
Yeah. Oh man. Favorite classic Disney movie, favorite Pixar film. Depends on your definition of classic. Like, classic as in just older, or classic as in like the Renaissance. My favorite like old school Disney animated movie has always been a Goofy movie, and it probably always will be. That's one that I grew up with. I always knew all the words to all the songs. I still know all the words to all the songs. I've got fucking Goofy movie T-shirts, for Christ's sakes. I love that one. Favorite Pixar movie? It's either Toy Story or The Incredibles. It's one of the two.
Disney would probably be Lion King for me.
Mm-hmm.
And Pixar would probably be WALL-E for me.
I've never seen WALL-E.
That movie was a premonition for this world.
Oh God.
Yeah, a lot of interesting things. Thank you. Oh, Cassie Hart says she's a brand new fan. She's been watching a lot of your videos.
Oh, tell her thank you. Or him. Probably her.
What? She's running off. What?
I said, tell her thank you, and then I said, or him, but probably her.
Cassie's a her, yes. She said, thank you, her or him.
Oh God.
Yeah, I can't hear you anymore.
And by the way, Die Hard's the greatest movie of all time.
And Cody says, by the way, Die Hard's the greatest movie of all time. She laughs. Yeah, that's what she does during the movie, too.
Yeah, I laugh when I'm guilty as well.
Means you're hiding something.
Yeah. See right through you, all three of you. Cody and CP, what's your favorite body horror movie?
Oh, The Thing.
Yeah, oh, thank God, yeah.
Come on.
I almost said The Fly, and I was like, oh, yeah, The Thing, shit. Yeah, those are probably top two, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Cody, Denzel on Mount Rushmore, and what 4 would you put on there? CP already answered unless it's changed. Mount Rushmore of actors?
Yeah.
This might not be everybody's list, but my favorite actors. Okay, so you got Denzel. Right next to him, put Leo DiCaprio. put Robert De Niro, and damn, that fourth spot's gonna be a bitch.
Yeah, you're leaving someone off that's gonna hurt. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not Al Pacino for me. Sorry, folks. I love Al Pacino, but he hasn't done anything that I've loved in quite a while. Stallone, maybe, just to change it up a bit.
Yeah. Shit. All right. Yeah. we're right on with the first three.
I'm on the mountain.
His face probably is easier to carve for them. Wait, you had a.
I mean, you got what, Pacino. You got. I love Ben Affleck. I'm a big Ben Affleck fan. Matthew McConaughey is awesome, even though I don't love everything that he does. Those the first three are ones where I'm like, every movie I've seen by these guys have pretty much been awesome. Not necessarily maybe late De Niro, but he's done enough early shit where I can forgive a few Meet the Fockers.
How much 70s Hoffman Nicholson do you have under your belt?
Very
little.
None, maybe.
Dustin Hoffman in the 70s was doing really well, and obviously the 80s with Rain Man, and Jack Nicholson is somebody that I don't give enough credit to, that I'm only starting to come around to now. It's hard. It's hard. Like, you'd have to do Mount Rushmore per generation, because I agree with a lot of, with the exception of fucking Sly. I agree with a lot of what you said, but it's so hard because it's, great actors come along, and it's hard to put them up against each other like that. There was a Brie Larson's Taint super chat for $2. Masters of the Universe remake thoughts.
Never seen the original. No thoughts.
Oh, you're lucky. Yeah. You're a little young for when the cartoon was a big deal. Mm-hmm. The movie is not the cartoon. I don't know. I need more than just they're remaking it. Sorry, Brie Larson's Taint. Hopefully.
That fucking name cracks me up every time I hear it. Oh man, have you guys seen Straw Dogs with Hoffman? I have not, but I've seen the remake, and I bought Straw Dogs, the original, to check it out because I actually really like the newer one. Mm-hmm. But I've yet to pop it in.
That's Hoffman in the 70s, yeah.
Yep. That's a Peck and Paw movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Michael Keaton in Dumbo. I don't know what that's in reference to, but Dumbo is absolutely the most miserable experience watching a film that I've had all year.
Wow.
I'm not going to say it's the worst movie that I've seen all year. I would actually have to sit down, but like, I took my kids to the drive-in. There's 2 drive-ins near me, and they're both equal distance but totally opposite directions. We've been to the one in Jessup, Georgia. At least I've been there 3 times now, and it's like 50s themed. They've got like a little old school concession stand. They play the old school dancing popcorn intros and everything. It was really cool. But this was months ago when Endgame came out. And we were trying to find something to do. And I looked online at the one in South Carolina. And they had 2 different setups. They had the first one, which is where they played Endgame. And then they followed it up with Captain Marvel. And then they had one where they start with Dumbo and they follow it up with Endgame. So my thinking on paper was, we'll go see Dumbo. Hopefully the little fuckers will fall asleep, and then I can enjoy Endgame with Holly, because it would be my second time watching it. Didn't quite work out that way. So we went and we got wings and pizza and shit that we weren't supposed to bring in with us, but we brought it in anyway, because fuck you, that's why. We drove in, parked. Dumbo added in with the fact that my 2-year-old was acting like a complete ass in the back seat because the drive-in setup just did not work for her. Added in with that, I was bored. The whole fucking movie just felt like, come on, Dumbo, fly. Like, that was the only thing that happened over and over and over and over again. I'm not even a Tim Burton fan. By the last 30 minutes of that film, I was sitting in my chair like this. Not asleep, but just with my eyes closed. I'm like, tell me when this fucking thing is over. And as soon as the credits rolled with Dumbo, I said, fuck Endgame, we're going home.
Oh.
I mean, it it had me so miserable that I was like, to hell with Endgame. So there you go. There's my mini review on Dumbo.
So that's experience ruining a movie. That's why a lot of times when I do reviews in my lists and stuff, I'll mention I saw it at home, which when you're watching at home, you're controlling the environment, and the expectations aren't as affected there. So, outside experience can really ruin the way you enjoy a movie, and that it just happens. It just happens.
My dad is the world's worst about that. His mood will 110% color how he views a film. I can show him fucking Goodfellas, and if he's pissed about something, Goodfellas sucked. Like I get so mad because I'll give him movies, like I'm kind of like his Blockbuster because I usually buy everything. So he'll come over and he'll be like, "What new movies you got?" And I'm like, "Well, I've already done my little my off the shelves video, so let's see. You should watch this one. You can watch this one, and you can watch this one." And I'll get his little mini reviews back in a text message, and he's like, "Didn't care for that one." And I'm like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, "I need details. Were you tired? Did Lisa get on your ass about something? Did you have a shitty day at work? Because if any of those questions are yes, you're fucking rewatching it." Like, it's
How was Terminator 2? It sucked. The Coke was a diet. Wait,
yeah.
but what about the movie?
Yeah. Like, I'm not exaggerating. That's my dad. My dad will totally, as he's gotten older, his mood will completely color his viewing experience. And I'm just like, dude, like, I'm trying to think of what the most recent one. I think it was Infinity War. I let him borrow it, and he's like, all that shit in space, I didn't like it.
Oh
and
my
I was
God.
like, I was like, the fuck? I said, did you even start watching it? He's like, no, it's too much shit going on. There's too many characters and this and that. And I was like, what the hell were you expecting? And then come to find out later on, like weeks or months later, my brother, like before Endgame came out, was trying to like give him a rundown of what happens in Infinity War. And he's like, hey, can I borrow that movie again? It sounds pretty good. So he finally gave it another shot and was like, I really like it this time. I'm actually having fun with it. I'm like, yeah, because you're actually watching it, motherfucker. Like, I love my dad to death, but sometimes, like with movie stuff, I'm like, are you kidding me? It's like I want to like hold his, like, you're watching it with me next time.
I'm holding your hand through this.
Can't be left unsupervised with films. Oh man.
How does somebody make money off the Human Centipede, let alone a trilogy? I don't think they make money off of it.
They get word of mouth for being the sickest thing ever, and everybody wants to experience the sickest thing ever, so they all rent it, and they force their friends to watch it.
Here's
do review series on it, and get stuck into it.
Here's something that's topical. I'm dropping the information here first. Auditions coming up this week for who would like that, and then it is Human Centipede up next on my Why Do People Make These Movies series. So you heard it here first. That's the next one on the list. Yum.
I've seen scenes from the first one. I've never actually sat down and watched it, and I've heard it gets worse from there in the franchise. So
the third one's a literal joke. It's just terrible.
That's right, sitting rubbing shoulders with Serbian film. No, I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it tells you what I've been doing the last couple months with this thing. When I'm like, oh, Human Centipede, no problem. like something horrible has happened here, where it's just, can't wait.
Wee. Believe in the hype, Cody. What's your dad's favorite frontman and movie? Frontman is in band. The Ozzy, probably. Ozzy or Rob Halford or Sammy Hagar. One of those.
Okay.
Let me see here. What did he say? A favorite movie. Fuck, that one is actually hard. Favorite movie. It's not Die Hard. I know that. It's probably up there, but it's not his favorite. My dad's favorite movie, it would probably be something like Outlaw Josie Wales or Heat or something along those lines. I really don't know. As far as like, I don't think my dad has like that one. Like I always say Die Hard, but my dad doesn't have like that one. He's got movies that are favorites. Let's see here. Have both of you seen the Suspiria remake? Thoughts?
It was okay. It wasn't Suspiria. I think you like it more because you were kind of so-so on the original, right?
I liked it enough because I thought it was different enough, and that's my thing. If you're going to remake a movie like that, you better do something different.
Yeah.
So I liked, especially where they went in that third act with that whole scene.
Yeah, it gets a little bonkers there at the end. Yeah.
Was like, oh shit, cool. I don't think it was as effective or as tight as the original.
Yeah.
A lot of dead weight in that fucking movie. The whole side plot with the guy played by Tilda Swinton was just like, just get that out of there. And the movie is actually competition. But with that whole thing in there, it's not even close. It's different enough to where if you're a fan of Suspiria, I would recommend every fan of Suspiria watch it.
Yeah, I'm not warm to it, but I'm not against watching it again just to, knowing what to expect. Maybe I might be able to give it a good old dum second watch.
The Dave Cave. When are you guys confirming the last of the trio for this year's 31 on 31? Well, I will give you a loaded answer by telling you nothing and say it might not be a trio.
Yeah, wait a minute. Who said trio? What?
I think because we did 3 last year, people are expecting 3 this year. But let's say math doesn't work out that way all the time.
Dave, the third piece of the puzzle was slipped out there on my channel there. So there's 3 franchises that are currently public information, sir.
Yes.
Nice try.
A little sideways shade. Ain't watching my channel. Cody, who's your favorite frontman? Mine is Marilyn Manson. I don't have like one favorite, but my favorites are Corey Taylor, Aaron Lewis, Rob Halford, James Hetfield, and Miles Kennedy.
They have to be alive, huh?
If we're throwing in dead guys, Lane Staley.
That's all I needed to hear.
Okay, moving on. Let's see. Where do you think the Creed story will go from here, if there will even be a Creed 3? I think there will most certainly be a Creed 3. There's no reason for them not to. I don't assume they're going to do the Mr. T's son angle, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Dude, what if they... I mean, listen, this is with going on the parallel rhyming mentality, but what if Drago...
Yeah, I will.
What if...
I will admit.
Go
ahead.
You want to give it 10 minutes and we'll shut her down?
Yeah, 10 minutes, we're good.
So what if Drago's son and Creed start training with each other and whatever Rocky and Creed were for the original series, Drago's son and Creed start doing that this time around. I don't know how you'd make it work, but I felt bad for Drago's kid in that movie, and I remember watching the theater thinking, God damn, I actually feel terrible for this guy, and that's awesome.
Yeah, they gave him some story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I don't, there's not like an obvious direction for them to go because they've taken the obvious route already with Creed 2. Yeah. There's not like a clear-cut direction. They're either going to, it's hard to say because now he's been champion. He's taken on like the greatest threat. So
he avenged his father technically.
Yeah, he's technically avenged his father. Supposedly Sylvester Stallone's not going to be in any more of them regardless, which we'll see. But
so now we got him being rich with a robot. That's next.
There you go. That's what it's about. It's
Happy birthday, Polly.
No, it's Chopping Mall in the in the Creed household. There you go. There's your movie.
I'd pay to see that shit.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Lane Staley actually pierced my mom's cartilage at Lala one year. Well, that's a
shit. That's awesome. Lane
is
Staley.
Pierced my mom's cartilage like a euphemism for something? Or like...
Lane Staley was the man. I want a movie about him. I don't care if they make it dark towards the end, but he's not famous enough because we haven't gotten a Kurt Cobain story. So until we don't get that, we're not going to get a Lane movie. But I want one.
What will that be about? The guy that Kurt Cobain? It's a story about the guy that killed 80s metal in one swift boot.
Yeah, one stroke of the guitar. All right.
One power chord.
This hair metal shit's
Your
done.
era is over. Oh man! All right, let's see. What 5 more questions? Let's see. Garrison M, what do you want to see happen in Halloween 2020? You had to squeeze it in there, didn't you? I want to see the bitch die. That's about the only thing.
One of them. At least one of them, right? It has to be.
It has to be Jamie Lee Curtis too. Otherwise, it's just like,
really?
Okay, we're stuck with Jamie Lee. I think it does. If you're gonna go through the effort of making them not siblings anymore to free up Michael to do whatever he wants, why handcuff him to Jamie Lee Curtis again? That's my biggest thing. That's one of my biggest issues with that movie is the way that they ended it. If they had ended it in a ballsier spot, I would have walked out a lot happier. But my final emotion was that was bullshit. Go ahead.
I could see what you're saying, but at the same time, they tried to play off the Michael's he's just doing things because his association with Laurie was kind of just a coincidence. He was just trying to kill people.
That's what I'm saying, but how long can you stretch that?
Well, if he kills the granddaughter, then it becomes a thing where Laurie's just like, you know what, fuck, I don't care if you're after me now. I'm coming for you. And, you make that a little thing where, Mike's just... Mike. We go way back, me and Mike. Where, like, he's just trying to kill whatever, and she just keeps... I was going to say, like, Tommy Jarvis, but she did it first, I guess. If you give her a reason to be a rock in his shoe, then I'm okay with it. But you got to give me some stakes if you're going to keep some of those girls in it. You have to.
Yeah. Kill Judy Greer. Donald Newton, have you seen Predestination with Ethan Hawke?
Yes, good movie.
Yes,
very good movie.
I really like it too. Brian disagrees. Brian's the sci-fi guy too. I actually think it's one of the more genius time travel stories that I've seen. I really like that one. It's a movie where you have no idea where the fuck it's going for like the first hour, because most of the opening half is just a girl/guy telling her story, and you're like, where the hell is this going? And then as soon as it cuts back to the end of the story and she is back in present time, the movie just goes.
Yep.
And you're along for the ride. So highly recommend that one if you like sci-fi. My nose is starting to itch like a son of a bitch.
Means you're lying.
I hate looking like I'm like, all right, continue, CP. Believe in the hype. Bill Skarsgård is Freddy. No, he's Pennywise. Yeah. He doesn't need both.
Yeah, he's got his iconic status. He's all set.
Yeah, exactly. Jason goes to heaven? ? He starts slaying angels left and right. You thought this was eternal?
Ooh, Walt Goggins for Freddy. I don't hate that idea.
I don't hate it either. He's got the charisma.
Uh-huh.
And he's not like I think he's fucking awesome, but he's not like a household name. Destination Station, you just broke the internet. I'm going to put out a video saying Walton Goggins confirmed for Freddy ? And I'm going to set the fucking internet on fire. And then I'm going to tag his bitch ass, and I'm going to make it a reality. It's all going to stem from me. It's going to you're going to see Collider and fucking Hollywood Reporter and everybody.
Bloody disgusting reporting.
Source at the bottom, Cody Leach YouTube channel. It's going to be right next to my fucking ranking the deaths of Chucky. Oh, man. And then Justice for CP right below it. Remember, like, what's going on with this shit?
What kind of reporter is this?
Oh, man. Cody and CP favorite classic movie.
Oh, well, are we going by car rules? Is it over than 25 years? What's classic? I need Dog Day Afternoon. Fucking, oh, I really quite enjoy that movie. That's older than me, so I'll call that a classic.
Willy Wonka, maybe? Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. That's pretty classic. There's not a whole lot of like pre-70s stuff that I've watched. So I don't know. Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. That's one that I love. Always will.
That's fun.
Yeah, one of those two maybe, unless I'm forgetting something really bad. Believe in the Hype. Cody, would you put Axl Rose in top 10 rock singers? No, I hate that motherfucker. And Slash in top 10 guitarists. I could be fine with Slash in the top 10. Slash is pretty cool. He's definitely a damn good player. But now Axl Rose, I hate that fucking guy. So even if he was talent-wise qualifying for top 10, which he's not, I wouldn't put him there.
Dude, they got that, like, what, 3 good albums? And it really should have been way, like, their petulance costs so much.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you're a Guns N' Roses fan or not, but they made some good music there in the late 80s, early 90s, and then just childish. Like that shit.
This is the thing about Guns N' Roses. They came onto the scene like a freight train, and they were like the shit. Like when they came out, they was like, holy fuck, where did this band come from? Mm-hmm. And you have Appetite for Destruction that a lot of people would argue might be one of the greatest debut albums of all time. Mm-hmm. My issue with it is that I am so fucking sick of hearing Sweet Child of Mine, Paradise City, Welcome to the Jungle, fucking November Rain. They have the same 4 or 5 songs that they've lived their entire legacy over.
They're rich off of those songs, yes.
And it's like, dude, like I already am one of those guys that I kind of get sick of the singles that they always play anyway, but Guns N' Roses is the worst. Like, people actually joke around at work because I'll have the radio playing, and the opening riff to, Welcome to the Jungle will come on, and I'll go and skip it. But, like, they got great songs, like Night Train, great song.
Rocket Queen, I like
Rocket Queen, great song. What's the one from Terminator 2? Shit.
You Could Be Mine?
You Could Be Mine. Great song. Don't Cry.
Out to
Great
Get
song.
Me? Out to Get Me.
Out to Get Me. Yeah. Great song. Yeah, they have so many awesome songs that never get airplay, but it makes me hate the band because not only I'm sick of hearing the songs that they always play, but they've lived their entire fucking legacy for 30 years off of one album. One album, and nobody ever really gives a shit about Use Your Illusion 1 or 2, so let's be honest.
Ooh,
so it's
November Rain's on there. I don't know.
November Rain notwithstanding.
Well, you look into the petulant child that he was. There's that horror story about that concert in Montreal where they were touring with Metallica, and James Hetfield caught fire, so they had to cut short, and then.
He was a fucking brat.
Yeah,
go on.
Yeah, and he was a little fucking prima donna and did a song or two and left. It was just like, dude, you could have been a superhero at that moment, and you decided to be a little bitch.
Yep. Set the whole fucking city on fire.
Yeah, and then they rioted. Yeah, good job. Good job, Axl.
Yep, awesome. So yeah, he's just, and the dude's not even talented. I'm sorry. Like, yes, people debate frontman if the attitude and the charisma is the frontman or if it's the talent. That guy cannot sing for shit, and he never has been able to. Like, his voice is like fucking metal grinding in my ears nowadays. Like, I would pay 3 times the amount for a ticket to see Miles Kennedy and the rest of Guns N' Roses tour than the entire original lineup. Like, you see Slash and Miles Kennedy tour, and he does Guns N' Roses songs and sings them better than Axl ever could. Like, I'm sorry, I'm a guy that goes for talent first. So it's just, all the attitude aside, I've never thought the guy was very good anyway, but the attitude and him just being a fucking crybaby and just the biggest whiner in rock and roll history as far as I'm concerned. Nah, sorry. Yep. You're not even in top 20, boy. Sorry.
I don't understand why Mike Patton doesn't get credit. He jumps around quite a bit. He's the lead singer of Faith No More. Really, really good. He does a lot. His voice work. He does a lot of. He does like effects work for video games. He does voiceover. He's very vast with the stuff he does. But he's not really like a front man. I just always find it funny that he never really comes up. Faith No More is not really that big a deal, but him, if you look into the stuff, he's like in like fucking 30 bands. He does all this weird shit. Really interesting. Really interesting character.
Gotcha.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Didn't mean to derail.
No, you're good. You're good. I know Epic by then. That's about it.
What is it?
Yep.
One more and then we go?
Yeah, we'll do one or two more. Hey, Cody, is your favorite horror movie is Lost Boys, and was wondering if you ever review it and its sequels. Yeah, it goes back and forth between John Carpenter's The Thing for my favorite horror film. Will I review it? Absolutely. I don't know. Here's the thing about your favorite films. You're never in a big rush to review them, and it's weird. I don't know if it's because you're nervous about being better the following year and you want to really when you want to review your favorite film, you want that video to be the best. Mm-hmm. And if I had reviewed The Lost Boys the first year I was on my channel, I would be smacking myself because I smack myself that I started with the Nightmare on Elm Street reviews. Because back then it was just basic Cody. It was the movie poster background. There was no there was some funny intros, but there was no the real production that I put into it now, or like when I did the Halloween where I had that whole storyline with the prisoner and everything. There was nothing like that. And if I had done that now, I could have had a lot of fun figuring out ideas to weave that together. So that's one of the reasons why movies like Lost Boys, movies like The Thing, I haven't really jumped on yet because I don't want to rush into them and go into it half-cocked.
Yeah, I don't think you should be too close to something like that because I myself have reviewed Jason Lives twice, and I already want to do it again because I'm not happy with either of them. I will never review Inception, which is my favorite movie, so you don't want to be too close to something for a bunch of reasons because you just... kind of like a director, it'll never be complete for you because you have such high regard for it.
I've had a review planned for Inception for a long time. It was one of my review requests from Al Seward. I have another review request for the Prestige, so I'm going to wait until it's Christopher Nolan fever and do both of them. But my intro that I've had planned for that video for the longest time, because I actually have the exact same top.
As do I, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, so my intro, this is a preview for everybody, so you can see when I actually do the video, you're going to laugh, because it's exactly what's going to happen. I've had this in my head for a year plus now. It's going to be me checking my numbers on YouTube, and I have 1 million plus subscribers suddenly. And I'm like, Holly, I got 1 million subscribers overnight. And then she says something to the effect of, oh man, that's crazy. Are you sure? This, it's like a dream come true. And I'm like, wait a minute, what the fuck? Shit. And I get the little thing and I spin the top and I'm going to focus on it and the thing's never going to stop and I'm going to be like, fuck it, and just grab it. I'm going with it. So
that's pretty fucking funny.
Yeah, exactly. So I've had that idea in my head for a while. But yeah, I haven't... that's another movie where I'm like, I don't know if I have the strength to review that yet because there's so much to discuss with Inception. You can't just talk about the cinematography and the characters and then hightail it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. Let's find one more juicy one and then we'll wrap this bitch up.
You pissed Donovan Davis off. Listen to the vocals on Night Train and tell me again that Axl Rose can't sing. Shaking my head. Sorry.
What tone do you want me to say it in? Axl Rose can't sing. Axl Rose can't sing. Axl Rose can't sing. Or I'll do it like him. Axl Rose can't sing.
Yeah, he does. He only has one, dude.
And look, guys, this is the thing too. Studio work is magic. You can make anybody sound good in a studio. I'm not saying he doesn't sound good in the album.
Yeah, I'm
saying he's like David Lee Roth. You see him in live, and you're like, "Fuck, put the album on."
Yeah, listen to Alice in Chains, and then listen to Mad Season, and then talk to me about Lane Staley and where his voice range is, because
yep,
holy shit, man.
Yep, preach. Why do people like Jason Lives? It's mid-bottom rank.
Oh! Who was that? They're leaving.
Dylan Fouch. You have been blocked. No. Oh, man.
I think you're mid-bottom rank.
Oh, shit. All right, let me see now. I'm trying to find one good, juicy one.
It's funny. This always happens when you tell people, all right, last one, let's go, guys. And they're like, they all get cold feet like, I got nothing to say now.
Yep. I can't be mad. Y'all are funny. He does it live! Exclamation points. Cool. What are some movies that are... Let's see. Okay, what are some movies that are essentials in any movie collection? Okay, so let's give 5 movies that you must have, like, for your movie collection. Or you can do 10 if you want, but 5's a little easier.
5's tight. So obviously Inception. I'm going to take Dog Day Afternoon. Die Hard. Not looking at me. Oh boy, I got to narrow it down. Clue, believe it or not. I got to have that in my box. And now I got one left. Shit.
The 5th one's always a bitch because this is where you got to start leaving people off.
Yeah.
You're not worthy.
Oh no. Jason Lives. Like I can't not have that with me. Which, man.
Die Hard. John Carpenter's The Thing.
Oh.
Lost. Well, I don't know. I don't want to run down like my favorite movies of all time. Okay, this is movies that you have to have in your collection, so they got to be like damn good Blu-rays or classics or something. Okay, so we'll do Die Hard, Goodfellas.
Oh.
The Thing. Midnight Run.
Ooh, I've never seen that.
And Warrior.
Oh, the Tom Hardy movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just to kind of give a nice mix, like 5 movies that you can kind of have a little bit different genres with. Otherwise, I would have been like The Thing, Lost Boys, Dream Warriors, Child's Play 2. So it would have been the favorites.
I have a series that I'm preparing where I'm asking other YouTubers to come and we just talk for an episode, 20 movies at a time or some shit. And the premise is you have to pick 20 movies, life or death. You have whatever your list of 20 movies is, but anything you don't pick no longer exists, and anything it influenced is gone. Like if you leave if you leave Terminator off your list, any sequel is now gone, and any movie that it has influenced has never been made.
Damn, so you can't have any sequels on your list then, huh?
Yeah, you better have the first one. Yeah. So it's just to open up discussion, like what if like like a Twilight Zone episode type thing. I haven't figured out the framework, but the the base is there. Movies that you life or death must have, and you're killing everything else off, kind of like a battle royale type deal for movies. But
what was the first film ever made? Because you have to have that on a list, otherwise everybody's fucked.
Everything else is
gone. Sorry, you didn't have the Great Train Robbery, so your list sucks.
None of these movies would exist without that, so this list is bullshit.
Yep, exactly. Oh, shit. That would be fun. That'd be fun to do.
Yeah, I'm working on it. We'll figure it out.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, it is 2:20 in the a.m. I've already been warned by the warden once. I hope she's not standing outside the door. Okay. She didn't kick open the door, so she must be asleep again. Yeah. So, we're going to wrap this thing up. It's been fun. It's been a couple hours just kind of bullshitting. So, always a good time having CP here. CP, what's your channel? What you got coming up soon?
My channel is Willis Credia. I'm currently finishing something up for patrons. Emily and I went to see a bunch of movies, and you just kind of do a vlog with us. There's that. And then this week, my Who Would Like That for Audition will be up this week. So, yay, torture films. That's all I'm doing lately is torture films, specialty. Yep.
Whee!
Yay! They get views. I can't help it.
That's right. You got shoehorned, and now you're like, fuck. Most hard movies to watch. Enter. Let's see, guys. So tomorrow we've got ranking the deaths of Chucky. It's already done. It's on my channel. My patrons are watching it as we speak. But it will go public tomorrow morning at some point. Within the next week, we'll have ranking all the kills in the Child's Play franchise. I don't know what new releases are coming out this week. I know Lion King is the next week. But I'm going to be doing also a lot of prep as far as reviewing some of the films that we're going to be doing with 31 this year. So I have to get those going. And that's about it. So sprinkling some patron reviews and stuff like that here and there. But going through the rest of the summer season for the most part from there on out. So wrapping up Chucky in the next week. So Chucky week turned into Chucky month, but no one's complaining about that, right?
Why not?
So that's pretty much all that you guys got looking forward to on here. Maybe some more live streams. I don't know. We'll see. Those are always kind of spontaneous for me. But nonetheless, keep your eyes peeled for all that. Hit the subscribe button over there at Willis Greedia. Hit the subscribe button here if you are a newcomer. Interesting video to find me on.
To interrupt, I'm sorry. If you do have intrigue as to the announced third franchise in the 31 thing, it's titled 10/31/19 on my channel. It's smack dab in a bunch of drama, but it's there. I think it came out July 1st. So
it'll be an interesting scroll, that's for sure.
Yeah, what the hell?
Loyalty, thirsty. Oh, 31.
10/31/19 is the title of the video.
Oh man, yep, check that out, guys. So I've done 2 trailers on mine. CP's done one on his. Brian might be working on one. We might be releasing multiple trailers by the end of the fucking year. Who knows? But keep your eyes out for all of that. Thank you for everybody in the chat. All the super chats, always appreciated. Cassie, Raiders AK, Richie Work, Believe in the Hype. Zach, I believe, hung out for the most part for all of them. You guys are awesome. So have a good Saturday. Well, Sunday morning now. And we will see you later.
Love you, Lee.
Yep.